I have with me David Packman. He is a progressive host and executive producer of the nationally syndicated radio and TV program, The David Packman Show. And I wanted to talk to David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males. David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males.
Can you remind the audience, when you talk about being a beta male and being an alpha male, what are we talking about here?
There are males, most men today, male, they think and act like a woman. They are emotional, they are mentally off, they have no logic. And that's a beta male. They go along with homosexuality.
Hold on, whoa, Jesse, we got to, that's a lot. That's a lot.
They agree with everything that's wrong. Abortion, they think and act just like a woman. A beta male does. But a non-beta male doesn't, because he's a logical thinking. And they're controlled by the darkness of David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males. David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males. David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males. David Packman. He is a beta male. David Packman. He is a beta male. Some beta males. David, you're not here to communicate. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you go. It's a waste of time to talk to you. We're not communicating. You're acting like an idiot.
No, because you're asking bizarre questions.
You're acting like an idiot, and you're wasting my time. I appreciate you coming. All right, thank you for coming. Goodbye. Goodbye. Let him know. That's a progressive vote. All men who are progressive, or males who are progressive, are weak people.
Dumps, big massive dumps, dump, big massive dumps.
Donald Trump insisted multiple times that it was massive dumps that led him to lose the election, which is just
on another level, on another level.
Dumps, dump, big massive dumps, dump, big massive dump.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea, because you could have people are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
Dumps, dump, big massive dumps, dumps.
What is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here? What is going
Dumps.
Dumps. That
Dumps. Dumps.
Well, it's 10 times.
Dumps.
multiple times. Massive dumps.
Dump. Big massive dump.
What is going on here? What is going on here?
Dump. Big massive dump.
Obama. 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 Obama.
All right, welcome everybody. It is election night. Am I on?
Obama.
Oh, okay. Now it is on. It is on. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. No, there's I'm actually not. I'm gonna give you guys there were some audio issues there during the intro song. Something about the configuration is not exactly the way it typically would be, because I'm actually not in the studio right now. I'm gonna give you guys a peek behind the curtain. But the truth is that, as you know, there is a duplicate studio, and this is actually a green screen. I filmed the empty studio, and the way you can tell is it's a different microphone. Let's put the background back on. Yeah. So as many of you know, we employ a pretty extensive security team, mostly Mossad. And often on election days, they think it's good for me to be in the bunker, just because you just don't know. Glenn Youngkin's followers are pretty whacked. So they've moved me into the basement. I was here inspecting it earlier. It was only an inspection, which I sometimes do, but now I am actually in the bunker. So yeah, in any case, I mean, I could even do the whole thing like this, but no, we're going to do it with, I think it actually is psychologically distressing to people when the background is different. So we're going to keep the background on. Some of you may have noticed this room has not been treated in the exact same, it's been treated fine I'm not abusing the room. I just mean the audio treatment is not exactly what we have at the main site. And thus, some elements of echo. You guys are familiar with echo and reverb, right?
Obama.
It can happen really to any of us. Okay, we have an incredibly explosive race on our hands here. We have results which we can look at here, and we're going to clean this up for you guys. Let me actually get this all cleaned up. Let's see what we got here. This is not, we're kind of doing this in real time. So we're going to maybe go like this. I want to make sure that the shot is appropriate for my audience. Whoa, that's not what we wanted. Let's see here. And then we're going to start getting into, here we go. So we'll maybe go like this. I don't even know that we necessarily need that. And then we'll extend this way. Yeah, maybe sort of like that. I think that's probably pretty good. And the super chats will be up on the screen. They'll be coming down. So far, just, sir, you are not the beta male. Thanks for all that you and your staff do. I appreciate that. Okay, good. So I think from a technical standpoint, we're doing it pretty well here. The biggest race tonight that we are looking at is Virginia governor. The importance of this race cannot possibly be overstated. The winner of the Virginia gubernatorial election will signify either that Republicans are really going to have to work for it in 2022, or that Democrats are in trouble. Because if we actually look at, let's see, when would it have been? Virginia gubernatorial election results passed. If you look at the 2017 gubernatorial race, it was the Democratic candidate Ralph Northam by 9 points. Okay, that's a strong Democratic win. And increasing, oh, hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still getting the shot all proper. Let's go this way. There we go. And maybe even a little more. There we go. Okay. And there we go. Okay, probably, actually, that's not even really going to work. I'll do the best I can with it. Okay. So if what we end up having today is, oh, and now it's not over on this side. Guys, we are going to get the shot right for you. There we go. Dear God. Okay, I think we've got it. Beautiful. Okay, I apologize, guys. I'm working on everything here as we go. If Democrats win but by one, meaning if Terry McAuliffe wins but by one, that's really not great. That's already not great. It already signifies probably to some degree a decline from 2017. And obviously, if Glenn Youngkin wins, a complete and total lunatic, it is very bad for Democrats looking at 2022. Right now, we have a third of the vote in, about 1 million votes are in, and Glenn Youngkin is up by 7.5. This is very bad. This is very, very bad for Democrats with a third of the vote in. We have a whole bunch of other races that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at what's on the ballot in 2022. We may hear some phone calls from you guys if we get to our 100 members. Let's see if I can just fix. There's a bunch of different things here to fix. There we go. Everything going wrong here. There we go. All right, just getting all of these shots properly set up for what's going to be a very, very eventful stream. We have a number of different races that we're going to be looking at, and results are coming in. Boston mayoral, New Jersey gubernatorial, New York City mayoral, just so many different things. We are going to continue banning people, it appears, at a very, very steady clip. We had major issues today, the just horrible people showing up today during the Kyle Rittenhouse stream. Just to give you guys some examples, I want to be fair, and I unbanned a bunch of people. Some examples of things that will get you banned or won't. Like, for example, coming in now and trolling Trump 2020 will get you banned because it's 2021, almost 2022. Trump 2020, it's just trolling and we're going to ban you for it. Now, if you're going to make a First Amendment argument, you're an idiot. You're trolling, okay? Now, if you say Trump 2024 and you're not repeating it in all caps like a lunatic, that's allowed, okay? Trump 2020... we're evaluating these things. There's a difference between saying Trump 2020 a year and a half or a year after the guy lost, not a year and a half, year after the guy lost. That's different than saying I would like Trump to win in 2024. Okay. So that's not a ban. Free Kyle, like the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, that's a ban. Okay. Now, I think Kyle is not guilty is not a ban. And so I want to make sure that the moderators and that everybody's on the same page. You're allowed to say you believe Kyle will be not guilty or even that he is not guilty. We have a trial going on to determine that. Okay. So free Kyle trolling, that's a ban. And I think Kyle is not guilty, not a ban. And then I want to get your thoughts on this. My instinct is Let's Go Brandon is an insta-ban because it's just idiotic trolling. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it in the chat. It just distracts from substance. What do people think about Let's Go Brandon? I did ban 2 people before the stream even started for Let's Go Brandon. Permaban, people are saying? Yeah. Yeah, I think Let's Go Brandon just needs to be a ban, basically, for the most part. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on as far as that goes. And we're keeping a really, really close eye on this election here, where it is still 7.4 percentage points. Glenn Youngkin, as of right now, is running away with this thing. Okay. And there are some early results from Fairfax County. Only a third of the vote there. That could be good for Terry McAuliffe. These areas closer to Washington, D.C., Arlington, 80 to 20 to 4 to 1, 37. So these are high population areas. Terry McAuliffe needs these areas. Loudoun County, Fairfax, Prince William, and Arlington. Absolutely crucial. As you can see, as you get further south and west, it becomes sort of like West Virginia. But remember that a lot of these places have very, very few voters. So, for example, Lee County has 80% in. It's only 6,000 votes. Dickinson County has 70% in. It's only 3,000 votes. Buchanan has basically the whole thing is in. It's only 6,000 votes. Whereas when you look over here, we're talking about this is only a third, and it's already 133,000 votes. When you look at Loudoun, Loudoun's not a good example. 43,000 votes, but that's only 28%. So this is where Terry McAuliffe needs votes, and we're going to be monitoring those areas very, very closely. Let's just take a tour of what else we have today. In the state of Florida, there is a Democratic primary that doesn't mean much to me. I don't know much about this race. There's also a Republican primary. It has already been awarded to Jason Mariner. The Miami, Florida mayor's race is a very interesting race. Francis Suarez is the incumbent, was expected to win, and is running away with it. Okay. St. Petersburg, Florida, Hialeah, Florida. These are not hugely significant. No offense to anybody. They're not hugely significant races. We have a Georgia State House district. Atlanta, Georgia mayor is interesting, and that's one that we are going to be watching as the results start coming in. I believe now, we are at the stroke of 8 p.m. on the East Coast. In Kentucky, there's a state Senate race of some interest, but it doesn't really mean too much to us, and some state house races. Up in Maine, there's a state house race. Massachusetts has the very interesting Boston mayoral going on, and then a couple state house races. Michelle Wu, who is one of the mayoral candidates in Boston, follows me on Twitter. We've exchanged some very nice messages, and I have said, informally, I like Michelle Wu, and I think she's going to win. I think Michelle Wu is going to win, and we're going to have a David Pakman show element in the Boston mayoral, which I think is great. There are some races in Michigan State Senate. The Detroit mayor, Mike Duggan, is running. He's the incumbent. We're going to be looking at that. Results expected, maybe not until 9 there. Minnesota, Minneapolis mayor, ranked choice voting first place. St. Paul mayor. So we've got that going on. I see the hype train. We're going to address it momentarily. Mississippi, you've got state Senate stuff. I don't know how interesting that will be to us. In New Jersey, you've got the mayor of Durham. Okay. New Jersey is in North Carolina, rather. In New Jersey, New Jersey governor is a big race. Phil Murphy is the incumbent Democrat. He is up for re-election, and we're expecting to start getting some votes in there very soon. There's also New Jersey State Senate. In New Mexico, the mayor of Albuquerque is on the ballot. In New York City mayor is on the ballot. This is a big, big deal. Very, very strong, powerful deal. We're going to be looking at that. Buffalo mayor in a state Senate race. In Ohio, we have the Congressional District 11. It has already gone to Shontel Brown over Laverne Gore. Overwhelming victory there. We also have Congressional District 15, which is a fight. Cincinnati, Ohio mayor, Toledo mayor, and Cleveland mayor. Some interesting local races there. In the state of Pennsylvania, State House and Pittsburgh mayor. So we'll be looking at that. In Rhode Island, it's a state Senate race. I to be honest, because of our audience, we're probably not going to pay too much attention to some of these state Senate and state rep races. Back to Virginia with 34% in, the vote total really slowing down now. We're still stuck at this 1.03 million votes in. Glenn Youngkin is ahead, still very, very early there. And lastly, in the state of Washington, the mayor of Seattle, Washington is up. So we're going to mostly for now keep an eye on Virginia. Expecting some more votes there, but as more things keep coming in, we are going to be looking at them, and we have a number of different things we're looking at. We have ABC News live stream. Let's listen in from the Youngkin headquarters.
Endorsed Glenn Youngkin. We've spoken to a lot of people here on the ground, and it's really unclear how those endorsements influenced their decision. A lot of the voters that we spoke to said that this race isn't about the president.
All right, so we're watching that. We also have CBS News coverage looking right now at Loudoun County. Let's listen to what is being said.
Take a quick edge. Or if it's a mix, if it's more election day, which would mean not maybe the Republican takes an edge, or maybe McAuliffe is doing pretty well at turning out his base of votes.
I have to tell you, I've never heard it pronounced McAuliffe.
So let's shift our attention ever so briefly to New Jersey.
Yeah.
The polls have just closed there. Any data yet so far to look at?
Let's take a look. I'm going to go back to the New Jersey map, and the answer is
none. Okay, so we're watching that. We are monitoring Newsmax just to see what's being said. We just want to see what's being said.
Attorneys to stand by in case of a McAuliffe loss. This is where the Democrats always beat the Republicans. This
is Stinkfield, like Grant Stinkfield or something like that.
Courthouses with high-priced attorneys. Right now, I'm being told there are no signs of any sizable Republican army of attorneys, which leaves me asking, why not?
Okay, so that's going on. We have video ready to go for Glenn Youngkin's event. Fox News is covering Glenn Youngkin's event. Also in an hour, Meet the Press Election Night Special is going to get going. We've got the Decision Desk HQ. The lead has grown for Youngkin. Another 7% of the ballot was dumped in.
And what happened?
Sorry.
Big, massive dumps.
And with another 7% of the ballots, Glenn Youngkin is now leading by 10.5. This is starting to get out of reach, folks. Democrats may be about to lose Virginia, suggesting that 2020 could be an insane bloodbath. So we're looking at that. Some folks have suggested I keep an eye on Dave Wasserman's tweets. Let's see what the latest. Loudoun County, up to 128,000 votes counted. McAuliffe winning by 53-47. McAuliffe better hope for a huge showing in the remaining VBM. What's VBM? Vote by mail. Sorry. Okay. Right now, I'd rather be Youngkin, but we've still got a long way to go. 9 minutes ago, said Dave Wasserman. Dave Wasserman is very, very good at calling these elections, so we're going to be following him really closely. I do want to thank everybody who came out tonight for this stream, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. A few people that I do want to recognize are Real Time Fan, Caspa, Jerry Anthony Live, Tutu Say, Lord Coronavirus, Sir Rock, and I Lizzie. 7 people grabbing Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 50. I also want to make sure everybody knows we are bringing out the big guns tonight. The coupon code is felony21 on my website. The code is so extreme. It's so vile. It's so immoral. It should be criminal. 3 attorneys general right now looking to criminalize this coupon code that I can't even tell you how big the discount is. I'm just calling it a big discount. But I would love it if you went to my website, joinpacman.com, and used the code felony21 to get a membership. Every one of you will get a thank you from me. It's so important that we continue to support independent media that we believe in. If you hate me, don't do it. I mean, a lot of you are just trolling through. Some of you will be banned, some won't. Depends on your behavior. But if you do like what we do, it's really something I would encourage you to do, as the lead has now grown to, or no, it is not. Okay, it is not. Let's check in on the Massachusetts, the Boston mayoral to see if we have any results. None yet. Still awaiting results there. Keeping an eye on New Jersey as well. Early numbers very strongly going to the incumbent Phil Murphy, although it's only 2% of the vote, but widely expected to do well is Phil Murphy. It's New Jersey, not challenged in the way that Virginia is challenged. People asking about the Buffalo, New York mayor's race. Let's see if we have any data there. Buffalo mayor. Is it even a race? It's India Walton versus just write-ins? That doesn't seem very competitive. I don't know anything about this race. Is it basically that's it? India Walton could lose to write-ins? That doesn't sound good. Man, I know very little about that. There's a huge write-in candidate. Okay, yeah, I just haven't been following Buffalo. Okay, good. All right, so there's a lot going on. I think, needless to say, is the point here. 41%. Youngkin tightening by about half a point now, from about 10.5 to just 10. 10-point lead, but a 10-point lead is big. Some of these, wow, Arlington, Fairfax City. Okay, there's still a lot of votes to be counted. And Dave Wasserman continuing to tweet about it. Radford, McAuliffe needed to win by 0.3, and Youngkin won. So this is really bad. See, this is exactly the type of thing that signals bad. Hold on. Let's see if I can get us some more of the top here. There we go. As you can see here, Radford, a college town in southwestern. Hold on. What are we even doing? There we go. McAuliffe needed to win by 0.3 and Youngkin won by 9. That's a disastrous sign. That's an absolutely disastrous sign. Folks asking about Pennsylvania, let's take a look at what's happening there. Nothing other than in Pittsburgh, early, very early, the Democratic candidate is ahead, but that's with 0% reporting, just the first 22,000 votes. So that's very, very early, extremely early. We're going to continue watching all of these. I want to say thank you to Jen here, Pocket B, Siam Double, and Kaboom for signing up via Twitch Prime. I really appreciate that. Also, people dumping in memberships on my website. I want to say thank you to Mike Saltz for signing up on my website with the coupon code Felony21. Thanks to Kevin Gouldy for the new membership. Michelle Brillhart has signed up, and so has Jennifer Lane. Very much appreciate that, putting us at 58. We will open phone lines if we get to 100, and I think that would be a really great thing to do. Let's see what's on people's minds. I want to answer some questions via Super Chat. Always welcome Super Chats coming in. Scott Taggart asks, sir, do you pronounce it data, or data? I don't even know the third pronunciation. I tend to say data. The LG says, David, why did we run a former governor who was never that popular? These are these are reasonable questions. Nina says, first year in new area in Virginia. Tried to vote, but the place was not wheelchair accessible. Should have planned better. Yes, my understanding is there were widespread absentee ballots mail-in. What time should we expect the big dumps Trump loves? Yeah, this is Trump's view of what happened in November of 2020.
Big, massive dumps.
Sorry, no, hold on. This is it.
And what happened, if you watched the election, I was called by the biggest people saying, congratulations, political people. Congratulations, sir, you just won the election. It was 10 o'clock, and you looked at the numbers, and I'm sure you felt that way. This election was over, and then they did dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
Right.
In Michigan, in Pennsylvania, and all over. If you take a look.
Right. So that's Trump's understanding of what happened in 2020. And we will keep an eye on what exactly it is that is happening today. The LG says, I live in Portsmouth. Hello to my Virginia family. Looks like Hampton Roads is staying to norms. Portsmouth D, Norfolk D, Newport News D, Hampton D, Chesapeake. Watch Virginia Beach. It's the biggest swing area. Elaine Luria won it by 500 votes in 2018. Where is Virginia Beach? I would guess it's on the beach. Let's see here. Northumberland, Westmoreland. Is it down here? Hampton City. Oh, Virginia Beach City. Well, it's plus 18 for Glenn Youngkin right now. So that doesn't bode particularly well. Does not bode particularly well based on that. I live in Virginia Beach. I didn't think it was that red. Yeah. Thank you for keeping the chat clean. I don't even live in the U.S. and this makes me sweat. Sir, you should visit Australia someday. I would love to. I would love to visit Australia. It's on a list. Let's put it that way. It's on a list. Huge thank you to James Fort for signing up on my website, as well as Alan Sherrill. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Peter Sharkey. Everybody using the coupon code Felony21. Guys, it's just check your local laws. There are some more kind of conservative leaning municipalities that hate coupon codes this crazy. So just make sure it's legal. The coupon code doesn't violate HIPAA, but it may violate other laws, and that is problematic. Let's listen to what's being said here.
Step back and be objective here. Is there anything at all that you might have done differently if you were running?
Lindsay, we've done this before. Step back objectively on election night as a former governor.
It's not possible.
Listen, I think that's up. I don't want to take that away from you guys. You guys can speculate. I think Terry brings enormous energy to everything he does.
Did he just call him Jerry? Oh God. Or did he say Terry?
I think he recognized there was a bit of a gap, but what was smart about his campaign, he recognized that a number of weeks ago. And these last couple weeks, the turnout game, the ground game, the number of early voters, we were afraid we might not hit 1 million. We hit 1.2 million. Again, end of the day, we'll see how this all plays out, but I feel very good.
So basically, he would have done nothing differently, even if McAuliffe loses by 12. The latest updates here, with now 47% in, are that Glenn Youngkin is still up by 10 points. Now, of course, we're still looking. There's areas where we have no votes. There's areas where we have gotten no additional votes that are good areas for Terry McAuliffe. So Fairfax is good for McAuliffe, only 37% in. It's been stuck there for a while. Prince William, stuck at 28. Albemarle, good for McAuliffe, stuck at 18. So it's not over. But what you have to understand is the more of the vote that's in, now at 47, the more overwhelming McAuliffe's margin needs to be in that remaining 53% in order to win. So we could get to a point. I'm making this up, okay, folks. I'm making this up, okay. Please. We could get to a point where we might have, say, 57% in, and Glenn Youngkin might be winning by 10. And at that point, it would be like, okay, to take the lead back, McAuliffe needs 62% of what's left. And then we would say, that doesn't seem super likely. Or we might say, that's perfectly likely. We might say it's perfectly likely. So that's what we're looking at. Let's take a spin around some different places. You know, I want to give us a little more padding here. On this, there we go. Just wanted a little more padding there so that we could see here. Let's get back to New Jersey briefly. Philip Murphy now with 3% reporting, holding a 2-1 lead, expected to do well. Let's see if we have any New York City mayoral results. Not yet. We may not get them till 9 p.m. I don't actually know. We'll be here watching, but I don't actually know. What is going on with my graphics here? Are these okay? I think something's up with my graphics, guys. I'm not going to lie. Something very, very weird. There we go. Having a hard time understanding. Like something's just strange. I'm going to have to look at that later. Okay, so New York City mayor, we've got nothing yet. And then in Massachusetts, nothing yet with Boston mayor, but we're looking at that. Let's just see. Yeah, see how something's weird here. The heck is going on? And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the exact settings. Let's just paste them here. I'm feeling much better about that. I think we just fixed it. Yeah, that was getting really weird. Okay, So let's just make sure we've got the Virginia numbers, and let's get back to some of the news coverage that is going on. Chris Christie here will be commenting. Maybe he will explain why he supported Trump.
Back in 2009 in New Jersey, how much does the national mood influence the outcome in this off-year election, and how much does it come down to the candidates and how they've run their campaigns?
I think it comes much more down to the candidates than it does to national mood. Now, national mood can create a wind, either at your back or in your face. And I think what we've seen in Virginia in particular is that the negativity towards President Biden in Virginia is impacting Terry McAuliffe a bit tonight, and may impact him even more as the night goes on. But
so people are asking whether I see Virginia as a bellwether for 2022. I do. And I know that not everybody in the audience is on the same page on this, but I do. This was a race that was +9 for Ralph Northam in 2017. And if it flips, I mean, guys, you all know I don't blow smoke anywhere. I think smoking's bad. I just think it's bad for your lungs, but I'm particularly not going to blow smoke, you know where. If this goes from Democrat +9 to Republican +10, that's a 19-point swing. That's a disaster for Democrats. It's just a disaster. Like, even if McAuliffe wins by 1 and they hold the governor's house, it's still not a good sign. Like, Democrats are in trouble. Democrats are in major trouble. And it's, you know, people, it's like there's a lot of kill the messenger I've found in this business I'm in. It's very, very bad. And if it goes Youngkin +10, it's a disaster. It's a complete and total disaster. We're going to keep an eye on a few different things here. Newsmax, let's just, out of curiosity, let's see what Newsmax's coverage is.
Real quick, just, and not to cut you off here, but we don't have a lot of time. I want to talk Chesterfield County for a second as well. Yeah. Glenn Youngkin with about a 10-point lead in Chesterfield County. What does that tell you?
Good sign. Yeah, that's the one we've lost the last couple cycles in a row. For him to win Chesterfield, I expect a repeat in Virginia Beach.
Okay. This is the Youngkin event. Let's see what's going on.
The most important factor to their vote this time around. Now, President Biden's marks on the national economy are negative. 54% disapprove. So we'll see how much there is a link between the Democratic candidate, Terry McAuliffe.
What accent is that where they say negative? Like I say negative. Where is negative from?
Great to see you tonight for that summary. So the issue that has affected every American and is going to start to affect our politics in a very big way is the question of scarcity. Why can't you buy things that you can
Horse
buy
country,
last year?
nay, very
The
nicely
answer
done.
is
Very nicely
supply
done.
chain. The supply chain is broken. What does that mean exactly? Well, Mike Taylor is one of the few people who knows what it does mean and can explain it. He's one of the owners of Combined Energy Services. We're happy to have him on tonight. Mike, thanks so much for coming on.
Is this Tucker Carlson's voice? Like, what are we listening to here? I don't even understand.
What does that mean, and how long till it's fixed?
Well, Tucker, I don't know if I can really answer when it's going to be fixed, but I can tell you.
All right. So that's that. And then Meet the Press starting up very, very soon. So we're going to be watching that very closely, keeping an eye here on the Virginia results, sort of stuck at 47% there. And we're going to watch that increasingly closely. I do want to say a huge thank you to Rob Squared, Epic Spawner, Skittle Stew, and Badness for signing up with Twitch Prime. Really, really appreciate that. We have not breached the 1,000 Twitch subs number for a while, and it's mostly my fault because I haven't been streaming enough. It would be an incredible thing to do that today. I also want to thank a bunch of people signing up on my website. Anthony Petrone just signed up using the code Felony21. Simba Mbvuma, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Simba Mbvuma signing up with coupon code Felony21. John Layer and Cindy Harris, new members. Also, Robert Archer taking advantage of this ungodly coupon code and putting us at 70 today. People, check on Dave Wasserman. Yeah, let's see what's up with Dave Wasserman. Okay. Danville, McAuliffe needed to win by 10, won by only 7. That's not good. Culpeper, Youngkin needed to win by 30, won by 34. Not good for Terry McAuliffe. Loudoun County, McAuliffe lead up 55-44 with mail ballots reporting. Per my benchmarks, McAuliffe needed to win by 14, only winning by 11. So essentially what Dave Wasserman is saying is that every indicator, every area, every precinct or every county, at least we would say, is not looking as good as it's supposed to look if McAuliffe is ultimately going to cover this. But we're still at 47%. Still at 47%. And there are still many, many votes to be counted here. I do know that there are a lot of trolls everywhere on YouTube and Twitch tonight. I don't know if there are that many on Facebook just because of the nature of how Facebook works, although it can get pretty toxic there. But we're monitoring all of it very, very closely. Let's take a look at the elections upcoming in 2022. But we want United States. There we go. Okay, so in 2022, let's pull this out and then move it here. And then that. There we go. So what's going on in 2022? There are 34 Senate elections in 2022. Light blue are Democratic incumbents. Light red are Republican incumbents. And then dark red are retiring Republicans. Those are interesting seats. I mean, Pennsylvania, a very interesting one where there's a retiring Republican. That's an opportunity for Democrats. North Carolina, potentially as well. This is Ohio right here. So there are some possibilities there. 39 gubernatorial elections, guys. 36 states have gubernatorial elections in 2022. I'm told there's more nonsense from Dave Wasserman. No, more insight. He's actually really, really good. It's over, guys. It's over. Dave Wasserman has called it. I've seen enough. Glenn Youngkin defeats Terry McAuliffe in the Virginia governor's race. This is a disastrous sign for Democrats in 2022. From D+9 in 2017 to R+ a lot in 2021. Very bad sign. It's over, guys. It has been called a major, major race. Now with 52% in, still plus 10.5 roughly for Glenn Youngkin, Dave Wasserman has called it. Dave Wasserman has called it. Now, this is not an opportunity to start trolling the chat on Twitch or YouTube. We're still going to keep banning people. Okay, you may be happy about the results, but you're still going to just be someone who got banned on the internet, which is a very childish thing to have happen. Let's see if any of the networks call it. CBS has not called it. ABC has not called it. NBC hasn't even started coverage. And Newsmax apparently has not called it. I want to say thank you to Mercutio Head, Nanundo, The Clay, Catastrophic Failure, Dino Sorcal, Hydraulisk Gaming for signing up via Twitch Prime, putting us at 74. Also, welcome everybody signing up on my website, including the great Lauren Posey and Wendy Van Hove signing up at joinpacman.com, both taking advantage of the coupon code Felony21. We are doing a lot of live streaming this week. We've got the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, have been streaming that every day. We've got the election results, etc. I invite you, and I would really appreciate it if you signed up on my website. It's a very small ask with this coupon code. It's cheap, and I'll thank everybody. Like, for example, Stephanie Nybert, who just signed up using the code. We never understand why. Our audience in general is like 70% male, as is the case for many shows like mine. During live streams, we get a ton of women signing up for membership. I don't know what it is about the live streams. I really don't. Let's look at some of the recent super chats. Dexy says, not just 2022, this is a disaster for Virginians. Yeah. We have employees in Virginia, and they are on the left. I don't think it would come as a shock to you to hear that. Thanks Manchin and Sinema, Democrats' inability to get anything done in Congress has done a lot to poison the well. We look incompetent as a party. Yeah, as many of you know, I'm not a Democrat. I don't care about the Democratic Party. To the extent that there are better options in the Democratic Party than the Republican, I support the Democratic Party candidates in individual elections. But it's not... the Manchin thing is actually not trivial. I do think that Joe Manchin will be less likely to work with Democrats given the results here. People disagree with me, you can let me know. But I do think that that is absolutely the case. Now, in terms of whether this counts as a win for Trump, you know, Trump recently put out a statement saying, or not a statement, he actually, let's see if I can find the clip. This was Trump, Pirro, Youngkin. Trump saying he endorsed.
If I endorse somebody, they win. If I endorse somebody, they win. I think I'm 148-2.
Now, that's a lie. About 65% of Trump's endorsements win, and there's a bias to success because he mostly endorses incumbents. So it's like, it's not really a great record.
That's a pretty good number.
You endorsed Youngkin.
And I did endorse Youngkin, and we're going to see. I hope it's not going to be 3. Okay, do you understand that?
Yeah.
I did. I endorsed him strongly.
Looking at that very strongly.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If Youngkin would have lost, Trump would have said, I endorsed him, but he didn't embrace my endorsement. That's why he lost. Since Youngkin, we believe, has won as called by Dave Wasserman, Trump will take credit for it, of course. Of course. Let's see if he said anything else. Yeah, no, Dave Wasserman not taking that back. And we're continuing to look at these results. Now with 52% in. Here we go. I do want to see whether we have any numbers in from the New York City mayoral yet. Nothing. We may not get them until 9. And no numbers in from the Boston mayoral. We may be waiting a half hour for those. That may be. New Jersey still looking very good for the incumbent Democrat Phil Murphy, now winning by more than a 2-to-1 margin. More than 2-to-1. And we'll keep looking at other races throughout the evening. Pennsylvania is one people asked about, although 2 state house races and then Pittsburgh mayor. So far, stuck with 0% reporting, just a few votes. Edward Gainey, the Democratic candidate, is in the lead as of this point in time. But Virginia called by Dave Wasserman. And we're going to see. Let's see how CBS is talking about it, even though Dave Wasserman's called it.
Also is behind this is I'm going to show you full transparency here. This is one of our decision desk models. Where is this vote headed when everything is counted? At the moment, it still looks headed, if marginally, for Youngkin. And so that sort of confirms my thinking right now that we're going to describe this as leaning Youngkin. And the other point I want to make, we've been talking about, I'll pick a county, Loudoun, here all night. This is where the counted vote is for 55-44 McAuliffe. Okay, he's winning it. But if I show you that comparison to the 2020 presidential, what did Biden get? He got more. He got 61. It's those kinds of comparisons of McAuliffe against Biden that we're going to be looking at as the night goes on.
I mean, remember, Dave Wasserman already called it for Youngkin and says it's over. So, you know, how much this really matters now, I don't know. I want to say a huge thank you to May Rican for signing up via Twitch Prime. Also, thanks to Badness for gifting 2 subs over on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Also, thank you to Michelle and Graham Denton sharing a membership. That's allowed. That's allowed. Michelle and Graham Denton signing up on my website. Same with Lisa Bishop signing up with the coupon code Elements of Bathrooms. New members number 81 and 82 today. Very much appreciate that. Few other super chats that I missed before. Do you believe that if McAuliffe loses, it speaks to the Democratic strategy of tying Republican candidates to Trump rather than focusing on policy differences? There was some of that, but I don't know that I would say that definitively. Carla says, I feel like the Republicans are the floppers that play in the NBA, especially when they say they can't breathe when wearing masks. Okay. Nails by Sherry asks, do I think Youngkin distancing from Trump helps him? I think the exit polls will give us an idea of that. I haven't looked at those. Same question came in from Bay Photo. Yeah, all good points. All good points and important points.
Number of years. And the question is, has anything changed? And the answer is, yes, it has. Things have changed. And I get to point to at least two things. Number one, I think that parents all across Virginia and in the suburbs are frustrated about the idea that the Democrats don't think that parents should be involved with school children. They don't like the fact that there have been sexual assaults in places like Loudoun.
You know what's really crazy about the people saying, we got to vote for Glenn Youngkin because we don't like what's being taught in school? It goes against their principle of leaving government out of stuff to say, we want the governor to come in and to tell schools what to teach. Like it's against their stated principles, which of course mean almost nothing to them. I played this clip on my earlier stream, but I'll play it for you guys here. This was an interview done in Virginia.
Issue in the governor's race here in Virginia.
Take it from the top here. Hold on.
What's the most important issue in the governor's race here in Virginia?
Getting back to the basics of teaching children, not teaching them critical race theory.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that I don't, what little bit that I know I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't,
well,
that you don't like?
I'm not going to, I don't have that much knowledge on it, but it's something that
we could tell.
That I don't care for.
He doesn't know much about it, but he definitely doesn't like it. That he can tell you for sure. Okay. Let's see what the latest official numbers are. Yeah, so I know that some of you are telling me that CNN says there's a long way to go. I don't know that Dave Wasserman is ever premature in his calls, and he has called it. But it's pretty clear that, when you go from 34% to 60% in, and you're still 10.5 points back, the numbers don't look good. It's just, intuitive math, I think, tells us that. I want to say thanks to Dan J. Blue for the Twitch sub. Really appreciate that, my friend. Also, thank you to Matthew Schumacher for signing up on my website with the coupon code Felony21. It's such a big discount. It should be illegal, but it's not. Love the show. Keep up the good job, says Mart Fillion. Thank you, Mart. Still Alive says, hi, David. Just got done watching the latest TYT episode and feeling doomer about the future. How can I feel more optimistic? Do you feel either way? So I'm sort of, I'm not particularly optimistic about the political future of the United States. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people might find, I don't know what the word is. People might not like me for saying that. Oh, hold on. I've got to ban a few people, guys. I'm sorry. We just have so many people needing to be banned here. Okay, so thank you. I am trying to basically worry about what I can worry about, what I can influence or decisions I can make. And so it's very unlikely that anytime in the next decade or longer, states like South Dakota are going to turn around politically, or Mississippi, or it's just not very likely. So I'm trying to focus on staying engaged in the blue states to which I have a connection, where, and I know this is where some people are going to get pissed off, where the standard of living is equivalent to countries like Norway and Sweden, right? I mean, you look at, let me see if I can find this. Let me see how to search for this. HDI ranking U.S. states compared to countries. This may be shocking to some people. Okay. So the reality is that this is a bad thing in the sense that I want things to be good for everybody. Okay. But there's an index called the Human Development Index. Okay. And what this article does is it compares the Human Development Index, which is usually done by countries. It does it by state. And it compares it to countries. So, for example, The HDI in Massachusetts is equivalent to Norway. The HDI in Connecticut and Minnesota is equivalent to countries Ireland and Switzerland. You look at the states of New Jersey, New Hampshire, Colorado, and they have an HDI equivalent to Iceland, Hong Kong, and Germany. You know, good places to live. And then there's a very different story at the bottom, right? You look at Mississippi, and it has an equivalent HDI to Andorra. You look at West Virginia, and it has an HDI equivalent to Lithuania. Not a terrible place, right? It's not, you know, it's not a place with the level of poverty and whatever is like Equatorial Guinea, for example. So the truth is, I'm trying to focus on, I'm not going to be able to change this. I'm just one guy, right? I can advocate for policies that would improve this, but I'm trying to also do what I can to make decisions that are good for me at the end of the day in terms of these states that are here. Everybody's got to make decisions about what's best for them. So I'm not optimistic about all of this. This is terrible. This is really, really bad down here. Okay. I would even question whether Louisiana and Estonia, I've been to Estonia. Quality of life seems pretty freaking good in Estonia. I think I would take Estonia over Louisiana. Just my opinion, but what can you do? All right, NBC News about to get going. Newsmax has not yet called this. Let's listen to the Youngkin Party.
Shop or barn, but steel prices are rising.
Okay, they seem to be listening to Fox News. Decision Desk has still not called the race, but there is 60% in. Oh, let's look at some other races. Okay, so let's look at New York. Nothing yet. We've got nothing from the India Walton race, Buffalo, New York. We've got nothing from New York City Mayor. I expect we're going to start getting those at 9 p.m. in about 20 minutes. And then Boston Mayoral, another interesting one. Nothing in yet. Okay. I'm told that now Decision Desk has called Virginia. And there it is. Decision Desk HQ has called Virginia for the Republican Glenn Youngkin. As you and I also know, about how long ago was it? 16 minutes ago, Dave Wasserman called Virginia. Dave Wasserman believes it will be closer than this. Right now, we are at plus 10 for Youngkin. Dave Wasserman believes it will eventually be only a 2 to 5% win for Youngkin. So we're going to obviously keep watching it as the results keep coming in, but it is now starting to be called in more and more places for the Republican Glenn Youngkin. I want to say thank you to Just an Internet Tourist, B. Devlin, and Andrew Dale. Listen to this, my friends. Andrew Dale has been subscribed on Twitch for 26 months. That's our entire time on Twitch. We started on Twitch in August of 2019. We are 26 and a half months in. Andrew Dale's been subscribed for 26 of them. Thanks to the three of you. Very much appreciate that. Also, huge thank you to Sean Moriarty for signing up on my website. Thanks to Mark Elliott. Thanks to Claudia Benson, Devin Spady, and Ron White, all of whom have signed up on my website using the coupon code Felony21. If you're wondering, David, what are you talking about? Joinpacman.com, Felony21. It's a discount code, and people are loving it. Greg McKay just used that very same coupon code, and his new member number 93 today. 93. People asking what website this is. This is Decision Desk HQ. You do need a free account in order to look at all this stuff. Okay? So Virginia has been called. Let's see how New Jersey is looking. New Jersey has not yet been called. About a 2-1 lead for the incumbent Democrat Phil Murphy with just 8% of the vote in. So we're going to keep watching that. And we'll watch the Virginia numbers, although it is now starting to be called. It's starting to be called now. So that's what's going on there. Other super chats coming in. Sin Su says, I agree with you about the probable bleak outlook for the United States, For me, at 74 years old, it makes me sad. I will probably not live to see a brighter future for the country as a whole. I don't know that I will either. You know, it's grim. We have a lot of, I hate to say it, we have a lot of real ignorance in this country. And we have a retrograde culture in much of the country. We have, it's not good. Frank Laturco says McAuliffe is tearing this country apart. Wow. Do you think this loss will mean a bigger effort to get through the Build Back Better agenda in the near term? I think it'll mean more difficulty in getting through the Build Back Better agenda, actually. Brian Tyler Cohen has a Don't Be a Mitch fund that helps turn purple districts blue. I didn't know if you know about it. I don't. Devin S. says, thank you for pronouncing my name right. My pleasure. I do the best I can with names. There are some doozies, but I do the best I can. I'm getting an alert that there's 420 people browsing my website right now. That's got to be a glitch, right? There's no way that that's the case. We did a lot of bandwidth elements in order to keep things going stronger. If you're just joining us, we are 15 minutes from when I believe we are going to get results from Boston mayoral and New York City mayoral. That's coming at the top of the hour. So I am very glad that you are joining me today, because we are going to get those momentarily. So that was Janine Pirro. We did this. Oh, yeah, let me see if I can find, there were some other interviews with Virginia voters that were pretty dystopian. No, these aren't from today. There were some interviews with voters in Virginia today that I wanted to play, and I am not finding them. Virginia voter. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, check this out. This is very interesting. Virginia Democratic voter tells Fox News host Martha McCallum, younger kids just aren't being taught critical race theory. Like the entire gist of it is just a lie. Take a listen to this. This is good.
I see a lot of learning going on, and that greatly concerns me.
I think there was a lot of learning loss over the past year and a half. We all saw with the kids at home and a lot of these options that you can get through the class with just a pass or a fail, and some of the measures that have sort of watered down the standards in not just in Virginia, many places. But Mara and Brooke, thank you very much.
Can I say one thing about I don't think people necessarily truly understand what critical race theory is. Younger children are not being taught critical race theory. They can't understand critical race theory. They're being taught history.
Right. That sounds very dangerous.
So when somebody here in Loudoun County, I understand, was upset that his second grade child was taught that Christopher Columbus killed many indigenous people, that's part of history. That is what Christopher Columbus did. So I have a hard time, I think kids have to learn history, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Do we know that Columbus killed people? I've never actually heard that before. So I like that she's saying they're not being... He personally killed people? I just hadn't heard... Did Columbus murder people? Seems to be it's unclear. Some things say yes, some things say no. All right.
So they can
I don't think anybody's against that. I think we have to do a fact check on the Christopher Columbus story as well. But, critical race theory, I think, sometimes is a little bit of a misnomer, because what's happening is that there's a sort of a reformed thinking and approach to history that teaches that the country was founded in racism. You can say critical race theory is like a legal theory that is found more in colleges. So maybe giving it that label has thrown some people off. But it doesn't mean that there's not things being taught that are teaching kids that they're sort of inherently victims or oppressor.
Okay. So there's Martha McCallum's view, I guess, on critical race theory. Republican voter hurls the N-word at volunteers. I'm not going to play that. Because that could be a problem. We already played this one, so we're not going to go over that again. Here's a Virginia voter speaking to MSNBC.
The important issues this year was education.
Schools, the issues that are going on in schools right now.
The biggest issue is what we're doing about the pandemic.
I believe McAuliffe hurt himself a lot with saying parents had no place to talk about education. That hurt him a lot, and that took away my support.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Here's a third voter saying she voted for Terry McAuliffe.
If Youngkin was to become governor, I just don't know what would happen to Virginia. I would really not like to see it turn red. I would like to keep the Democrats in power.
Okay. And then here is another voter, mom and independent, voting Republican. Why? She'll tell us.
You're a swing voter. Yeah, I'm a swing voter. I'm the person that politicians sort of love and hate.
Yeah, I'm sort of clueless about the fact that there is no similarity whatsoever between these two parties. And so I just kind of go back and forth and try to get attention.
Dana Jackson, whose daughter is now in high school, is an independent. She's voting Republican this year, and she sees others like her.
I have some friends that are Democrats who have never voted red in their life. And this time they voted every red box they could find.
Very weird. Couple more interviews here.
I'll be voting for Glenn Youngkin on November 2nd. And education is the top issue. I think that virtual schools didn't do any kids any favors. I think it's really important for in-school.
It's funny because like the virtual schools were going on because of the pandemic, and it's wrapping. Like regardless of who you vote for, it's going to wrap.
Education to be happening, for quality education to be happening. But I don't think that critical race theory has any place in our public schools.
Man, people are just so confused about everything. It's really crazy. Here's our friend Farron Cousins. He may be filling in for me a little bit in December. More information about that upcoming. That may be it as far as these. A lot of the same ones keep coming up. We looked at that one. We looked at this one. Okay. All right, good. Well, so we took a look at that. And we're continuing to watch all of these different... Oh, my God. It's Rick Santorum on Newsmax. This I have to see.
Popular. Yeah. You know, Terry McAuliffe, the White House will blame Terry McAuliffe. He made mistakes. But the president, unpopularity turned a deep blue state into a narrow red state.
In addition, I should add, I mean, we're following the House of Delegates race. So far that I've reported, the Republicans have picked up 4 of the 6 they need they need 7 to take the majority. So, and there's still a lot of races that are very much in play. So, again, to the point that Mark was making, this isn't just about Terry McAuliffe being a bad candidate. This is about a bigger wave than that you're seeing down ballot races. You know, one other thing I want to talk about is Loudoun County. You know, we looked at Loudoun and you're saying, gosh, he only got 55, McAuliffe got 55%. But if you look at the election day vote, actually, it was, I think, Youngkin won it by 1. Mm-hmm. So the early vote...
There's a lot changed in the last 2 weeks.
As you know.
There's an emergency radio offer that they're doing there. Here's the Youngkin party. Let's listen in.
Not be doing as well as he should in a state that's controlled by the Democratic Party.
So it sounds like they're just listening to Tucker at the Youngkin party.
Isn't really relevant to his job. The Bill of Rights, as you well know, protects Americans' right, enshrines their right to practice their religion as they see fit and to congregate together, to assemble peacefully. By what authority did you nullify the Bill of Rights in issuing this order?
Okay. All right. Thank you. If you're just joining us, Terry McAuliffe has lost Virginia. Democrats have lost Virginia. This is really bad for Democrats. This doesn't bode well for 2022. This doesn't bode well. It just doesn't bode well for Democrats. I don't know how else to say it. It's a very bad thing. It signals. This race was +9 Ralph Northam in 2017. Right now it's +10 the Republican Glenn Youngkin. Virginia's not a deep blue state, but it's been, we believed, going more consistently blue. And it's gone the other direction. Let's see if Dave Wasserman has any other info for us here. Calling the lieutenant governor's race for the Republican as well. Folks, we are moments from starting to get data from, I believe, New York and Boston mayoral, two important races. Eric Adams, the Democratic candidate in New York City, and a friend of the show, Michelle Wu, one of the candidates in Boston. Very, very exciting stuff. Just as a reminder, "Let's go Brandon" is a bannable phrase. It's just annoying and stupid. Okay? So I just banned another person for using it, and we will continue banning those folks. It's just you're gonna keep getting banned. It's not gonna stop. And you do with that what you want. If you feel good about it, then great. But it's just too much. I want to say thanks to Willa Vanilla and Boceratops for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Also, thank you to Miles Birkins using the coupon code Felony21 to sign up on my website. Folks, we are 4 members away from hitting the completely arbitrary and meaningless goal of 100, which you can't even imagine how meaningful that is. It's really something else. Standing by for results there. Georgia people want to see. Atlanta mayor as well. Okay, yeah. So in Atlanta, Felicia Moore is leading right now based on 500 votes. Extremely early. We don't yet have any information from Buffalo. It's all zeros. I believe at 9 in 5 minutes, we're going to get some information there. And we're monitoring all of these different channels. And Meet the Press coverage starts in 4 minutes as well. So I want to keep an eye on that. That's very, very important. A lot of these different things are going to be coming up. And they're going to be major races to follow. Shane says via Super Chat, "David, thanks for presenting the news in a calm, objective manner. Very refreshing." Thank you. "I thought the Dems would change their game after Trump, after what the Republicans did with the Supreme Court and the insurrection. What do we do next? History repeats itself with the Dems, but the Republicans changing the game." Bay Photo sees, "Need more proof the crap Tucker does works." Yeah. Very, very true. "Do you think COP26 will yield results?" I think COP26, you guys want to hear, I mean, if this is going to be depressing for people because this is not optimistic. I believe that the COP26 talks will lead to vague, probably achievable, but completely unenforceable commitments on climate. Call me crazy. Katya says, "Thank you for all the live streams. They make difficult situations significantly more digestible. Some rough stuff this week. We appreciate you." Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Look at this. What is this? You guys see that? What is that? Oh my God, we got to get that out of the way. That's not very unprofessional. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Tomorrow we're going to continue with Kyle Rittenhouse, and it's been pretty brutal. I want to say a big thank you to Adam Ruther, who is a new member on my website, Justina Tyson, as well as William Moss, new members 97, 98, and 99. Folks, member number 100 gets a free item from my online store. Any item you want, we'll ship it anywhere in the world that we can. I think the only places we can't ship are some places in the Middle East, North Korea, Antarctica, maybe. We could basically ship anywhere else. Whoever is number 100, you will, if you want, a free item from my online store. Rupert Murdoch has shown that he hates America as he runs it from abroad. At least is indifferent, right? He's indifferent to living in America. We can put it that way. He doesn't care the effect that Fox News has on America because he doesn't even live here. That could be fair, although some of his kids do. Yeah, I think there's a number of different ways we could. Oh, hold on. I got to ban more people. Guys, remember, Let's Go Brandon gets you banned. It's just trolling. It's just trolling. People saying don't support anything that I do, so that's a ban. I mean, guys, if you're just if there's bad faith trolling, you're just getting banned. I don't care. People being clever with Let's Go Brandon, that's a ban. Twitch is so well behaved tonight. Guys, YouTube, can you just behave a little more like the Twitch audience? The Twitch audience, they're substantively participating in chat. There's very little trolling. It's, at least tonight, it's just, come on, guys. You should see what's happening on YouTube. It should be illegal. It really should. No, I'm kidding. It shouldn't be illegal. It's not a legal issue. Okay, top of the hour. And we are moments from our first data from New York City, Buffalo, Atlanta, and Boston mayoral. A lot coming up here momentarily. Youngkin people are going wild. All right, I guess they cut the audio. Jeez. Something must have gone very wrong there. How can Dems message more effectively to combat Republican simplistic black-white framing of issues? We have objectively better policy positions. Check out my interview with George Lakoff on that. We've spoken about that quite a bit. Check out my interview maybe with Thomas Frank. We've talked about that a little bit with him as well. Just a couple other people I got to ban. There's just a lot of banning going. It's sad that so many people are getting... We probably have thousands of people that have been banned. It's really crazy. Let's see here. Thanks for not commenting on my last super chat. Yeah, we've got a lot going on. Oh, here we go. I will make an effort to read, but not necessarily comment on every message.
Tonight, the first clues to the 2022 midterms and which party will control Congress. The first major test for both parties since the presidential election. Two big governor's races. In Virginia, a dead heat between Democrat Terry McAuliffe.
I am a uniter. Glenn Youngkin is a divider.
We're getting Massachusetts data.
Glenn Youngkin.
Do you want government control in your life, or do you want freedom?
Nothing
in Jersey, it's Democratic Governor Phil Murphy.
It is sunrise in New Jersey.
Versus Republican Jack Ciattarelli.
You thought the last 4 years are bad? Wait until this guy is unencumbered.
Plus big mayoral races from New York City.
Look at me, and you're seeing the future of the Democratic Party.
To Boston.
I am running to tackle the big challenges in Boston in partnership with community.
To Minneapolis, Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo, Atlanta, and Miami. Also, key ballot measures on everything from peyote to police, from housing to health. Complete coverage of Decision 2021 begins right now on NBC News Now.
Wow.
This is a Meet the Press Election Night Special. Live from Washington. Here are Chuck Todd and Kristen Welker.
Well, that music can mean only one thing. It is election night in America. Results are coming in. We are in for a jam-packed night. Could be a long night or early morning.
That's right. It's already very busy, Chuck. That's for sure. And tonight, a lot more is at stake than some big governor's races. We're also watching special congressional elections, mayoral contests, and ballot initiatives.
Look, it's effectively opening day of the 2022 midterms with an incredible first candidate.
So this one is not too close to call. It's been called already. Youngkin won. Multiple calls over that.
Governor, things are not breaking the Democrats' way, at least so far. Polls closed about 2 hours ago. And our NBC News election desk has categorized this race too close to call. However, we can characterize it this way, that Republican Glenn Youngkin is in the lead. So too close to call.
Incredible analysis.
It's about a 1 to 3 point spread in Youngkin's favor. But there's still more numbers to come in. Democrats everywhere are anxiously watching these returns, because this is a state that Joe Biden won by 10 points last year, and Ralph Northam, the outgoing governor, won by 9 in 2017.
This race has historically been an excellent indicator for both parties ahead of the following year's midterms. If Democrats lose this race...
All right, so they're not giving us anything new. In fact, they're very, very far behind. I want to congratulate Paige Lang, who just signed up on my website using the coupon code Felony21 and is new member number 100. You get a free item from my online store if you so please. Email info@davidpakman.com and give us the information, what you want, color, size, address. We will get it to you. A whole bunch of other people signing up. Thanks to Darius Barksdale, Scott Labrie, Danielle Villela, Robert Esslinger, Brenna Tyson. Brenna, welcome. Paolo Raimondi is a new member on my website. That's 6. Okay, 100 plus 6. 0 plus 6 is 6, nothing to carry. 0 plus 0, 1 plus 0. That puts us at 106 for the evening. Also, a big thank you to Shane Perro, Alan Minsart, Julianne Hart, Zach Callahan, and John Whiteclay. Whiteclay, I like that last name. I've not heard that before. Really appreciate that. Also, thank you to everyone supporting us on Twitch tonight. That includes Kumadatsu, Toil, Shane Perlt, The Clay, Margot Cabot, Pot Pot Ux, Sebster's Lab, Rocio Duran, and Badness, putting us at 119. It's an historic evening, an election night with so much going on. Let's now go to the data and see if we are starting to get information about these mayoral races, key mayoral races. In New York City, we have nothing. We have absolutely no information in New York City. Does anyone know, are we expecting information from New York tonight? Is it one of these things where we're just not going to have anything tonight? From Massachusetts, we have nothing yet from Boston mayoral, although we do have numbers coming in from state house primaries. So we're going to keep watching that as well. But these are some major races taking place here. As numbers continue to come in, it has been called for Glenn Youngkin. Although not every network wants to do it. Maybe to push ratings. I don't know. Thanks to Rocio Duran for the website membership now. Double dipping. New member number 120 using the coupon code felony21. An explosive evening. Why don't we just go for 150? I mean, why not, right? Super chats continue to come in. Dems are appeasing Republicans like Chamberlain did Hitler. That's a bit much. Yeet Anometry says, never mind the nonsense. We love Pac-Man. Thank you. Mart Fillion says, just like George Carlin said, the planet is fine. The people are lost. Jimmy from Philly says, I have a special bowl to catch liberal tears. Yikes. Sinsu says, so concerned that before long, shows like yours will necessarily go underground. Yes, for security reasons, as many of you were told earlier, I am in the bunker. This is a green screen. We have been moved into the bunker for reasons I shouldn't even really be talking about, but often on elections it happens. But I want to make everybody feel comfortable. So we filmed the studio and now have it as a green screen background. I have to tell you guys, it looks pretty freaking good. I did an inspection of the bunker earlier today, and it really looks good. So that's happening. We should just demand a recount and an audit. This election was obviously fraudulent. We should storm Virginia State Capitol. That's what we do now. Yeah. I understand the point.
Clearly, Youngkin has made huge inroads back into the suburbs, at least gotten whatever the anti-Trump Republican or anti-Trump independent vote, that seems to have come home to a point. That in of itself may tell this story. But Mark Murray, you've talked about the death by 1,000 cuts for Terry McAuliffe, and it's in all of these red areas. Let's just take you to little old Bristol, Virginia here, Washington County, big Youngkin County here. But look at these raw vote totals. Yes, he's overperforming.
Okay. So I think you guys get the gist of what's being presented there. ABC has still not called it for Glenn Youngkin. CBS News, I don't believe, has called it for Glenn Youngkin. And NBC News, they're doing an entire dog and pony show as if it hasn't been called. But it has been called at this point by Decision Desk HQ. They're very good. It's also been called by Dave Wasserman, who continues to tweet. Just about the only places we're seeing McAuliffe exceed vote targets are inside the Beltway. Not enough to win, but it is enough to keep Youngkin's eventual margin quite narrow, maybe 2 or 3%. That's, I think, the most accurate thing that has been said. Thank you to Melissa Johns for signing up on my website, as well as Sarah Oakley. Sarah used the coupon code Felony21. New members 121 and 122. We are getting, I'm told we have some numbers now from New York. Is that true? We do not, no. Let's see. When are New York mayoral results expected? New York City election results. I mean, Eric Adams is going to win. I don't even know. Oh, hold on. Politico has the data. Look at this, folks. Politico has New York City mayoral elements, and it's over. Yeah, Eric Adams will be the next mayor of New York. Curtis Sliwa with 9% reporting, down almost 4-1. Almost 4-1. So data coming in from Politico, for whatever reason, Decision Desk HQ does not have it, but Politico does. And it is going to be Eric Adams. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Let's see if they have, Boston mayoral results expected. Maybe these numbers are out. Live results, Boston mayoral. WBUR. Oh, we've got data. Decision Desk HQ falling woefully behind. Our friend Michelle Wu is out to an early start over Anissa Essaibi George. 16% reporting. Whoa. And Michelle Wu in the David Pakman Show universe. Very nice. We like her. Out to a 58-41 lead. 58-41 lead for Michelle Wu and Eric Adams. It is over, folks. It has been called. Democrat Eric Adams. Politico has called it. In New York City mayoral, it will be Eric Adams. It will not be Curtis Sliwa. That's a very good thing. We didn't want Curtis Sliwa. Decision Desk HQ just lacking here. They just don't have the information. It's very strange, showing all zeros. Maybe not the best dashboard. I don't know. We'll continue to monitor Virginia here. It is over in New York. It is over in New York, Staten Island. The one red part of New York City went Sliwa so far, 54-40, but still 91% of the vote to be counted there. Everything else very, very blue. New York County, which is Manhattan, 85-10. Bronx, 81-16. Queens, 68-27. Queens does have some more conservative areas, particularly, I think, out up here near Long Island. And then Kings County, which contains Brooklyn, folks, 80-15. Very aggressively happening. Very, very aggressively happening. Over in Massachusetts with still 16%. Oh, wait a second. Can we actually get, this seems to be an Associated Press elections. Is it here? Where do we have the results? Live updates. Sure where to get the results from AP. In any case, these data, the multiple datum, Michelle Wu is ahead by 17 points right now. 17 points. So some interesting numbers starting to develop here. I want to say thank you to WeSlow819 for the Twitch subscription. You are number 123 today. Very much appreciated. Over on my website, Crystal Wade just signed up with the coupon code Felony21. If you're just joining us, we have endless streams this week. We streamed yesterday. We had day one of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Today we had day two. We're doing election results. Tomorrow we will be back at it with day 3 of Kyle Rittenhouse. I would love it if you grabbed a membership on my website to support the work we do. You can use the coupon code above my head in bold to get a big discount. Also, thanks to Michelle Graham for the Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate that. We've got a lot of people that are getting banned, particularly on YouTube. It's just horrifying what's going on. Horrifying. And what's interesting also is we have established a new element, I guess we would call it, over on YouTube, where you need to be subscribed to my channel to chat, because we thought that would sort of reduce the trolling. Imagine if right now anybody could just troll on through. It would be absolutely horrifying. Absolutely, absolutely horrifying. Newsmax now projecting a Youngkin win in Virginia. Expecting that, of course. Here's the scene at Glenn Youngkin's party. NBC News coverage, updating a variety of different races. CBS now saying that it's leaning Republican in Virginia. It's over, as it's been called by multiple folks. Let's take a listen.
That legacy of that rural turnout that Donald Trump created and Glenn Youngkin was able to capitalize on, but also to kind of chip away into the Northern Virginia suburbs, into some of the swing counties like Chesterfield. In some ways, he was able to pull it off, but as we've talked about, not every Republican nominee is going to be able to have a convention and also $400 million of personal wealth to be able to pull off that feat.
Hey, Joshua Johnson, I'm already violating a rule that I swore. I know what it's like not to be the lone guy not on set. And you're like, what are you doing? I have been in your position, and I'm like, come on, Brian.
We're
I'm
not
over
even
here.
15 minutes through the first hour, and look how you do me already. I see how this goes.
Mr. Johnson, you heard me conflate my Florida, a little bit of my Florida roots. You've got Florida roots. And there is something very eerily similar here where Terry McAuliffe looks like 2016 to me a little bit, right? Terry McAuliffe's doing what he has to do, and there's this rural tide coupled with a little.
What is Chuck Todd? What analysis is this?
That's what we're staring at. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying in terms of the Florida connection. I'm a little bit of a contrarian on this one. This may get me uninvited from future election nights, but I'll take the hit on that. I am actually
we want contrarian.
I'm a little bit mixed in terms of what I think about Virginia being a national bellwether. I think Virginia, for anyone who's lived there or near there, kind of gets that it's a very different sort of state from many other states. Extremely well educated, very high net worth. Like the idea that Loudoun County is such a high net worth place, but this is west of Washington, D.C. And the debate over education is not about like standardized test scores or kids on free and reduced lunches, but it's about the way we talk about race. Says a lot. But the other thing that I think is going to be a significant bellwether tonight is what happens with the races for mayor. Because I think a lot of what's going on in the country right now is not about education. It's about COVID, it's about the economy, and it's about crime. In our NBC News exit poll, we asked, which candidate do you trust to deal with COVID better, Youngkin or McAuliffe? Most people said McAuliffe. Crime, most people said Youngkin. And a lot of the races tonight...
That's a partisan bias. That's not unique to this race.
In Seattle, they're dealing with issues of criminal justice. Minneapolis is voting tonight on whether to disband the police department. Like, these are the kinds of practical executive issues that might end up being more of a bellwether with the rest of the country, especially, as you mentioned...
Guys, I don't know that I agree. If Virginia goes from +9 Democrat to +10 Republican. Now, I understand at the end of the day, it might only be +3 Republican. That's a major factor for 2022. It's a major, major factor. It's good for Republicans. I don't know that I agree with this analysis.
Maybe if we view all of it, we'll have a better sense of where America's going.
Actually, you're not being contrarian. I totally agree with you. And in fact, I'm curious if you accept this premise,
Let's
Joshua,
all agree.
that actually, if you look at the entire election landscape for tonight, and you brought up those mayor's races, plus New Jersey and Virginia. Essentially, this is a referendum on Democratic philosophy and governance, and a debate really more inside the Democratic Party about how should we govern, how should cities be governed. In some ways, it seems like all of these races are a little bit...
Right. Let's get back to some of our numbers. In the New York City mayoral, it's over. If you're just joining us as expected, Eric Adams has won over Republican Curtis Sliwa. That is the guy with the red beret from the subway people. And in the city of Boston, with still just 16% reporting, Michelle Wu is leading by 17, there. So that's the latest there. They're still counting votes in Virginia. It has tightened a little bit to about 9 points with 72% in. Guardian Angels, yeah. But it is clearly not going to be enough, and it's been called. It's already been called. This is the Glenn Youngkin party here. And you can see just lovely, lovely people there. Newsmax, let's listen to the Newsmax analysis.
Property taxes in the nation. The gas tax has been hiked twice in the last year, and the income tax is literally confiscatory. So when the governor says, well, if you're worried about taxes, this isn't the state for you, how many people can afford not to worry about taxes? The current governor is a Goldman Sachs millionaire, but most people work for a living and they get their paycheck and they're worried about how they're going to pay their taxes, especially their property taxes.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm looking right now. Ocean County was heavy Trump in the last election. Monmouth was not that heavy for Trump. It was lightly won by Trump. Chitterelli maybe making some gains in Monmouth County and doing a little bit better there. So you just...
They seem to sort of be holding it together over there to some degree. I want to say thank you to Your Billion, Steve the Doc, and Cold Pressed Juice Box. I appreciate you signing up via Twitch Prime. Also, a huge shout out and thank you to Ryan Hughes, who just got a membership on my website, and Trevor Evans Young, who just got a membership on my website. Using the coupon code Felony21, it saves you a disgusting amount of money. You decide, but it saves a disgusting amount of money. Let's get to some super chats. Joe Bullen says, I think this will come down to turnout. What will? The Virginia thing is over. Or do you mean 2022? How do we motivate the blue for 2022? Well, just imagine all the things. We have to talk very specifically about what happens if Republicans take control in November. Lisa Murkowski says she will vote yes to break a filibuster on the John Lewis Voting Rights Replacement Advancement Act. She's the only Republican. I'll look at that for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure if Chuck Todd agrees with you, you're a contrarian. Hey, David, Lisa Murkowski said she would end the filibuster on John Lye's act. Okay. Audit the Virginia ballots to screen for Chesapeake blue crab fibers. Yes, absolutely. We need to do that. Very, very suspicious stuff on those ballots. Could really be anything on there. Could really be anything on there. So let's see. What are we waiting on right now? Over in Georgia, we had the mayoral in Atlanta. Very little reporting there, although maybe there's a better... Now I'm doubting this. Atlanta mayor election results. Let's see what we've got. Atlanta mayor's race. No, there's really almost no reporting out of Atlanta yet. Okay. So that's not inaccurate. Not inaccurate. Michigan. Detroit mayor, incumbent Mike Duggan doing very well there now with 55% reporting, probably 10 minutes from being called. So that's going to be over. Minnesota, no data yet. St. Paul, no data there either. Jersey's looking very good for Phil Murphy, although, whoa, all of a sudden it's just gotten way closer. Look at that. Oh my goodness, this could get very... Could this be a massacre for Democrats? Phil Murphy all of a sudden down to just a 6-point lead all of a sudden. That's not so good. So we're going to have to look at that. Yeah, there were some vote dumps.
Big, massive dumps.
That's not so good. So we're watching New Jersey. Over in Ohio, Chantel Brown has won. Yeah, I mean, not even close. Cincinnati mayor, we're getting some data in. Aftab Puraval. I don't know any of these candidates. I don't know. For example, in Toledo, I've not heard of Cardi Finkbeiner, and I've not heard of Wade Kapzukowicz. but we're watching all of those races. Pennsylvania, State House, Pittsburgh mayor, very little reporting, but the Democrat is ahead as well. There's, let's see, do we have any data from Buffalo? Buffalo, New York mayor results. Let's see what we've got. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, no, wait a second. I'm seeing India Walton getting crushed. Check this out. This is like super early, but there are some results here. Look at this website is horrifying. With 0 precincts. Oh, no, hold on a second. There was just something else. I just saw other numbers. That's weird. I looked at this in a different browser and it said India Walton was down. That's bizarre. In Firefox, it shows results. And in Chrome, it doesn't. Let's refresh here. Brown's campaign is writing, meaning votes will not be counted until November 15. So I don't think we're going to have anything here. Yeah, it's very strange. This shows nothing. I'm looking at this very same window in Firefox, and it says write-in 65%, India Walton 35%. At the same time, we're told we're not going to have any data. Oh, here it is. See, it just popped up. This is what I was looking at in another browser. 65-35, write-in defeating India Walton. I just think it's not really clear what's going on. I think we're going to need to wait on this. It's not really clear what's going on. Yeah. And now it's just, the website's really funky. Very, very funky website. Let's listen.
European trip. They also think that there's an element here of, frankly, because things aren't getting done, Terry McAuliffe represents the same old, and people are again looking for something new. So the mood glum inside the camp, but they still say, too close to call, they believe that there are paths, however small. Chuck?
Well, I'm impressed, Chris, that your source was being honest. Because it's certainly the impression they've given us. Well, I assume glum is not the word, Garrett Hake, that you're going to use to describe the scene at Youngkin headquarters. Tell us, there's already different conservative groups that have put out victory statements. Are they acting as if this is over, or do they... Okay.
That was a quick answer.
Take it away, brother.
Okay.
Chuck, the only people glum at this event right now are those in the back of the line for the bar. The Youngkin celebration event has been in full-on victory party mode for about the last hour. They're absolutely convinced that they've got this sewn up, that they hit the marks that they were trying to hit in places like Loudoun County, in the red counties that go down the spine of Western Virginia. They hit the Trump-style numbers that they needed to hit, and they've seen no indication that there's going to be any kind of last-second turnaround from the late numbers in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Arlington, Alexandria, and so forth. They think they've got this sewn up, and they were feeling confident over the last couple of days, not just because of this late surge, particularly focused on the education issue that Chris alluded to, but really going back to what they saw as a collapse in Joe Biden's numbers here in Virginia, starting around the time of the pullout from Afghanistan. As the Biden numbers start to get soft, they saw their numbers improve. They found this to be a winnable race, and then they felt like, and I heard this from sources in and around the Youngkin campaign in the last couple of days, that Terry McAuliffe ran fundamentally the wrong campaign here, that he ran maybe a Senate campaign, maybe a 2020 or a 2018 campaign, and that trying to make Glenn Youngkin into a scary, 6'5" Donald Trump in a sweater vest and khakis who shoots hoops just wasn't going to work here. Virginia voters were kind of past it, and that they didn't find Youngkin to be a scary figure, effectively giving a hall pass to independents, to moderate Republicans perhaps who had turned against the party during the Trump years, to come back on board. And that seems to be what we're seeing here tonight. But as you could probably hear around me at this party here in Fairfax County, Republicans feel like this is a victory party tonight.
I bet. Look, we have a call that we're about to make in New York City, but I want to wrap up a quick.
Eric Adams won.
Here. Mark Murray, Glenn Youngkin actually looks, if you put him in the lineup of Republican governors, he actually looks, any sort of demeanor, everything. Bob McDonnell, George Allen's governor's race, Jim Gilmore's governor's race, right? All of those Republican governors, Andrew and Mark, they ran very, don't call me a Republican race. And in each one of them, and they both ran.
I don't know why I'm finding Chuck Todd a little bit annoying. We called the Eric Adams New York City race was called a little while ago. We are still standing by for results from New York City mayoral. At the last refresh, it was 16%. It is still 16% as far as we can tell. I don't believe there is newer data from NYC, from Decision Desk. Yes, nothing new yet. I want to say a huge thank you to Montian for gifting 10 Twitch subscriptions, putting us solidly at 140. Also, Jeremy Marchand and Joseph Tobias have signed up on my website, getting us to 142. We have a stretch goal here of 150, and we're very, very close. I really appreciate everybody who's been signing up on my website. The coupon code will be good all night. That's felony21. New York City mayoral, it's Eric Adams. Guess we'll listen to the call here.
We expected him to win this fairly comfortably. And, you know, Andrea Mitchell, Eric Adams, I'm still sort of having that flashback when he said, I am the face of the of the current version of the Democratic Party.
It's going to be fascinating to watch him.
Yeah.
Just a quick note about Curtis Lewa, whom we've seen in New York politics and activism for decades. But the fact that he had all of those cats in that one-room apartment, I still can't get over that.
I mean, I still remember him from the Guardian Angel days.
Exactly.
I didn't think that guy's is he the son of that guy, or is that still that guy?
That is the guy.
And I think Eric Adams, Andrew,
I'm just
I think he's interesting. He's the second African-American mayor to be elected in New York. And he really had a law and order message at a time when we are debating this discussion, defund the police. And of course, there are various versions of that. But
he comes from that community.
As he says, is
Joshua Johnson, Eric Adams.
Yeah.
The role he's going to play. What do you expect? I think he is interested in being part of the national conversation. I don't think he's interested in being Mr. City Hall.
No, he may not be super interested in being Mr. City Hall, although he's been speaking to a lot of issues here in New York that New Yorkers are very concerned with. I think one of the big ones, like we mentioned earlier, is going to be law enforcement. There was this big fight, there's been this big ongoing fight in terms of vaccine mandates and what's going to happen with Fire Department of New York and NYPD if they don't get.
I don't know if you guys heard, there's 36,000 NYPD officers. The union was saying 10,000 might quit over the vaccine mandate. 34 actually did. David, have you seen the Tucker clip of him covering how Joe Biden is turning orange like Trump? No, that I'm gonna try to find that right now.
Like the one I'm sitting in right now, where people evacuated for COVID and haven't all come back. What do you do in a New York where there are storefronts that have closed en masse? People are slowly coming back, and we're trying to figure out how to make this a city that you can come visit and have things to do when you finish coming to see Fallon or whatever you choose to do here in New York. What do you do with a city where you're hearing more dirt bikes racing up and down 6th Avenue and more homeless people on the streets? And it just seems like...
I found this, it seems 2 months old is the only thing. Let's take a look.
Well, back in January, liberals around the world celebrated that the White House was no longer occupied by an orange president. Now, a lot of viewers of this show have noticed something. Joe Biden is turning orange. It's not an exaggeration. Look at the pictures. In other words...
I mean, the funny thing is, in this video, Tucker looks the exact same shade of orange as Joe Biden.
The orange man is back. What's happening here? Is there something about the White House that turns people orange?
Is this a joke?
Is it the water? Is it something else? We don't know, but we're going to stay on that story.
Oh, hold on. The water. I have a clip about that.
Surrounded by water, big water, ocean.
One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
All right. Well, that's strange. It's a very strange clip. I don't know the oranges of it, but a very, very unusual clip for sure. Don't really know what to make of it. I guess the result I'm watching most closely now is New York City mayoral, where we still have just 16% reporting. Let me see if I can find something with more updated information. Boston mayoral results 2021. See if we've got anything newer. No, New York Times. It seems 16% is just the most we've got right now. Boston.com. Yeah, no, that's the latest we've got. Thanks to JR Dubs for the Twitch Prime sub. Very much appreciate it. Let's go to a few super chats here. David, I'm doing my senior seminar paper over white evangelicals versus modern human secularism. I want to know if it's okay if I could quote you. I can't. Anything that's public, you can quote. You don't need my permission. If it's public, it can be quoted. It would be weird for me like, no, don't quote a public video on YouTube. Jack says, New Jersey governor is now down to about a point difference. Oh, shit. This is becoming the race of the night. Oh, my goodness. Incumbent New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, who jumped out to a just massive, massive lead, is now down to only a 2.88% lead.
Big, massive dumps.
Yeah. Jack Chattarelli seems to have received huge ballot dumps. That is crazy. Phil Murphy could end up, the Democratic incumbent in Jersey could end up losing. Now, Jersey does weird stuff. But that we've got to watch that really, really closely. Okay, a lot of kind of strange super chats here. Not all ones that I can really respond to in any substantive way, but appreciate it nonetheless. We're going to have to watch that really, really closely. That's not looking good. So basically, we've got Boston mayoral now, and Jersey gubernatorial is all of a sudden looking absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Let's take a few calls. I promised to take calls if we would get to 100 website members. Whoa, hold on. Let's open up Discord over here. We do take calls via Discord. That's davidpacman.com/Discord. We'll take some calls while we wait for some more results to come in. Okay. Let me see what else is going on here. Yeah, let's talk to some people. If you want to talk to me, go into the waiting lobby in the Discord, and momentarily we are going to be able to chat. Let's make sure my audio video settings are appropriate. Correct microphone. Yep, that's all going. Yeah, I want to chat with a few people now. We're watching results come in, and we're going to have more results momentarily. So let's listen to what a few people have to say, at least. Let's listen to, is this Adam from Virginia? Adam, you calling from Virginia?
I am, Fairfax County.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it?
I started drinking the moment you called it.
Oh, really? What are you drinking?
I poured 3 fingers of whiskey.
Oof. Okay, what whiskey?
Jack, just Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack. All right. Well, so I mean, it's this what is. I was completely unsure as to who would be likely to win, but were there like rumors today that it wasn't looking good for Terry?
I felt it wasn't looking good. I there wasn't really any indicator. When I went to the poll or my polling place, it was basically deserted. It was me and 3 other people there.
Oh boy! And now is that a bad sign? Probably, right?
Yeah, that's what I felt. But but yeah, no, I just really disappointed in the race today. But outside of the Beltway, it turns the Beltway in Richmond, it turns very red very fast. So.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
So I guess now what? I mean, I guess, we see what happens with the members of Congress in 2022.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too now.
Yeah.
The whole bad press from Biden and Congress not being able to get this infrastructure bill passed. And it's just much like Terry McAuliffe, it's death by 1,000 cuts.
No doubt. No doubt. Adam, I'm echoing, so I'm going to let you go, but I appreciate the call, and we want best of luck, of course, continuing in Virginia. We want to turn things around. Let's go now to another state that's hotly contested where the Democratic incumbent governor maybe just, it's now down to 0.99. It is under a point. Let's go to Surya from New Jersey. Surya, what the hell is going on over there?
I know. My pessimism is increasing. Let's put it that way.
Sorry, your what is increasing?
My pessimism.
Your pessimism,
sure.
yeah. Was anyone expecting it to be this close in Jersey?
No, I'm actually from one of the few Republican areas in New Jersey.
Oh.
But reliably, the race goes to Democrats here, especially in like the middle and southern counties.
What county are you
I'm
in?
not sure
I've got a map pulled up. I'd like to see the results. Can you describe what county you are, like on a drawing of New Jersey?
Yes, I'm from Bergen County, which is all the way at the top on the right side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have no results from there yet, at least on Decision Desk HQ.
Oh, NPR says 60% for Chitterelli right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For whatever reason, these results on Decision Desk don't seem to be that updated. But all right, so it's not looking great there.
Yeah, I'm really sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna keep watching it. Oh my God, Chattarelli's now in the lead, folks.
Oh my goodness.
Chattarelli's now leading by 0.19%. It's about not even. It's like 1,400 votes or something like that. So it's not looking good, Surya.
Yeah, this was actually my first year casting a vote because I just turned 18, so this is not good.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're engaged.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's hope for the best.
Yes, for sure.
All right, there you go. Good luck in New Jersey. Guys, this is looking very bad. If you're just joining us, Virginia has been called for Glenn Youngkin. There were just all these votes that came in.
Big, massive dumps.
And it's been called. We now are looking at New Jersey. Jersey looked safe, looked very safe. And Phil Murphy was winning like 2-1. Then he was winning by like 20. It is now down to a situation where the incumbent Democratic, if an incumbent Democratic governor in the Democratic state of New Jersey loses, it's very, very bad. Very, very bad for Democrats. Let's check in with a couple of other people here. Why don't we go to, let's see if we've got anybody else in a relevant location. Let's go to Marshall from, is it downstate or downstairs? Where are you calling from, Marshall?
I'm calling from downstate Illinois.
Oh, downstate Illinois.
As
Gotcha.
opposed to Chicago, yeah.
What's going on there?
I wanted to ask you, there seems to be a narrative, especially on the left, that people vote based on issues and substance. But that just seems so misguided to me. From where I stand, it seems like people vote almost entirely on cultural issues, the culture wars and stuff like that. What is your take on that?
I disagree with that. So let me give you an analogy. And I just poured water all over myself, Marshall. So I'm just going to mop up a little bit here just to make sure we don't get disconnected due to a short circuit. If you paid attention to the Democratic primary on Reddit and Twitter, you would have gotten the impression that the Democratic electorate was way more to the left than it really was. You would have gotten the impression that Bernie Sanders was way more popular than he really was. And then we had the actual Democratic primary, and it turned out Joe Biden easily won. Along the same lines, I think that cultural issues are significantly played up by the media and on websites like Reddit and Twitter, when in reality, I really do think, I'm talking about Democrats here, I really do think Democrats are not primarily voting along cultural issues. I think in recent time, because Republicans have completely abandoned even pretending to be about policy, I think there's a lot of Republicans voting along cultural issues, but that's my sense right now.
So it's mainly a partisan split. Right?
I do think so.
Thanks, David.
My pleasure. There's Marshall from downstate Illinois. Folks, if you're just joining us, it has gotten very ugly. Incumbent Democratic New Jersey governor in a blue state is losing. Jack Ciattarelli could defeat blue governor in blue state, and it would be a disaster for Democrats. Let's see if anybody's picking up on this. NBC talking about Virginia, CBS talking about Minnesota, and ABC talking about Virginia. But look at these numbers. Phil Murphy's losing. The incumbent is losing right now. Let's get updated numbers from Boston. Nothing updated. Okay, so we're gonna keep watching those. Let's take a caller, Eric from Virginia. Eric, you're on the air.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Yes, please step away from the phone just a little bit.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, I like that quiet voice. Please.
So I have a question for you. So it was quite a race in my state. Do you think? Oh God, why am I blanking on who won? That shouldn't even be a question on who won. Virginia. Who was it? Was it McAuliffe who won Virginia?
Are you asking me the results? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm just blanking on the name because I've just been watching so much results. I don't even know who won.
It's been called for Glenn Youngkin on many channels.
Do you think McAuliffe even had a chance at winning?
Yes, I think he had a chance, but he lost.
Okay, great. Thank you, David.
Pleasure. Thank you, Eric. You can also, if anybody needs to know the results, just look them up. You don't, I mean, waiting on hold seems annoying. You can just Google the results. Let's go next, sticking in Virginia, to Elysian in Northern Virginia. Is it pronounced Elysian?
I actually say it Elijah, but all my friends just call me Elliot.
Okay, now Elijah, you've gotta silence Discord because it's already blinging and blanging, and I'm gonna have to dump because otherwise we're gonna lose all of our viewers.
Okay.
Oh boy, that's 2 strikes. I'm just warning you. Keep going.
Come back to me. I'll figure that out.
And there's number 3, strike 3. Okay, let's go to Ben from Boston. Ben, are you watching the Boston results, and how are you feeling about them so far?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been watching. I voted for Wu a little bit earlier today, around noon.
All right.
Still looks like she's doing pretty good so far, but not too many updates.
Yep, 16% in. She's winning by 17 right now.
Yeah, it seems like it's been stuck there for a while.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah, I was just wondering, kind of, what your thoughts about her and kind of potential, progressive in Boston. What the things that she could, what really impressed you with her in terms of Boston politics.
Yeah, I mean, I've not followed the race super closely, and I'm not currently voting in Boston, but I know Michelle a little bit. I know she's aware of the David Pakman show. I think she's great. I think she's very smart. I like her energy. I like her general predisposition and approach to the city of Boston. So I would have voted for her if I was a Boston voter. I think I hope she wins, and I think she'll be a great mayor.
Do you think you'll be able to get her on the show?
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be criminal if I wasn't able to after all this.
Yeah, that would be great. Just one thing, I was just wondering if you saw this tweet by, it's now been deleted, by Emerald Robinson, who is the White House correspondent from Newsmax.
For Newsmax, yeah.
Did you see this tweet about her talking about luciferase in the COVID vaccine?
No.
It's completely bogus. And yeah.
Luciferase.
Yeah, I'm actually a scientist, and I use luciferase is a commonly used enzyme from fireflies.
Oh,
actually,
hold on, this I have to see. Let me explain to the audience what's going on. Newsmax Star claims vaccines contained bioluminescent tracker linked to the devil. Twitter eventually took down the tweet. I want to see the exact quote. Dear Christians, the vaccines contain a bioluminescent marker called luciferase. So I guess the right pronunciation would be luciferase, so that you can be tracked. Read the latest book of the New Testament to see how this ends. You know, how can we not say that that's mental illness? Like when you claim it to be from Scripture, supposedly we have to pretend you're healthy, but that's weaponized. That's horrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's pretty debunked. Even if it was in the vaccine, who cares? It's just a name of a protein. It comes from a Latin root, you know?
Hey, you know what? I read actually that the vaccines contain Hitlerase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for the call.
No, thank you. You called me and I really do appreciate it. And we're going to keep going with Michelle Wu. Let's see who else we want to talk to. Oh, update on this race here. Oh my goodness, guys. Phil Murphy may be about to be removed from office. Phil Murphy, the incumbent Democratic governor of blue state New Jersey, is now losing by 2.2 percentage points. This was supposed to be, hold on, who am I talking to? I just heard, is someone still on with me? Did you guys hear that?
No.
Okay, somehow it's White Knight. I'm going to have to server mute White Knight. That was weird. How did White Knight get on with me? That was strange. Very, very weird. Okay. Guys, please don't do that. Okay, that's not funny. Jack Chattarelli now leading by 2.2%. Okay, let's go next to Roy from South Jersey. Roy, what the hell is going on in Jersey?
You know, we still haven't gotten the suburbs of New York or much of Philly, so I wouldn't be too worried right now.
Hold a second. You guys are counting Philadelphia in the Jersey
the
election?
suburbs of Philly.
Oh, I was going to say,
on our side of the river.
That sounds illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. My question was, do you think that, power coalescing around Trump is a good thing because, he's up there, he's going to die, and then, there's going to be a power vacuum in the Republican Party?
Yeah. You're saying, is it a good idea because all of a sudden the Republicans will have no one if Trump dies or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, that's their problem to figure out. I don't even want to give them advice. Don't give them any ideas.
All right.
I hope that they don't figure that out. I hope that whatever happens, they end up with no leader. That would be great.
Right. I really appreciate because I was on the right, very much so.
Oh.
And then I saw your interview with Jesse Lee Peterson.
Really?
And I thought, wow, maybe I'm wrong. And then
that can't be true. Is that really the story of you being deprogrammed?
No, really. The one you did in September, I believe, of last year. My friend sent me it. And, I was still kind of questioning my beliefs politically. And then I saw that and I'm like, this can't be real.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, okay. I didn't think that interview achieved anything other than comedy, but that's great to hear.
Yeah. So just, thank you for setting me straight, I guess.
Pleasure. And let's hope that this thing turns around in Jersey.
It'll be all right.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to win.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Yeah,
Roy in
thank you.
South Jersey. Great to hear from you. Let's go to our friend Tamisha in New York City. Tamisha, are you happy with Eric Adams as the next mayor of New York City?
No, I did not vote for him.
Really?
Really?
Who did you vote for, Tamisha?
I voted for the teacher. I voted third party because I knew he was going to win.
Okay. And what don't you like about Eric Adams?
I don't like the whole crime aspect where let's focus on police because I feel like crime is a multifaceted thing and you have to look at many different aspects like poverty, education, housing, all those things fit into why crime might go up or down.
Sure.
So just looking at, to fix crime, let's look at police alone bothers me. So that's what bothered me about him. And I don't like his stance on how he focuses on education. He's pro-charter school. I'm not pro-charter.
Fair. So
Actually,
you just disagree. You just disagree with him on priorities, I guess I would say.
Yeah, Sliwa's platform was more progressive to me, but he's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about characterizing it as more progressive, but he's crazy. That's absolutely true.
So I know Eric Adams was going to win, but I'm not really too happy. I wasn't really happy with the choices.
Mm-hmm. Fair. All right. Well, we will see how. Now, if Eric Adams does well, will you still be pleased?
Of course.
You will. Okay, good. I figured, Tamisha, you've always seemed like you have a good head on your shoulders. Your son's doing okay?
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Oh, all right. Very good. All right, good. Well, anything else, Tamisha?
Not really. Just one thing. It's weird to me that people are upset with Biden right now. Understandably so with certain things, but to all take the leap to say I'm going to vote Republican.
Yep.
Do you think that's what's happening? I mean, or is it just people not showing up?
I think it's people not showing up. That's my instinct, but we'll know when we have more exit polls.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but it's not looking good.
Hey, last thing, Tamisha, in New York City pizza vocabulary, is it logical to you that if you say you want a regular pizza, that's cheese, or is that kind of weird language?
Yeah, we usually just say plain.
Oh, plain. You go with plain. Okay, interesting.
Plain slice.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, Tamisha, thank you for the call. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, you too. There's Tamisha and her son. Always great to hear from them. I want to say thank you to AlexisFan13 for signing up via Twitch Prime. If you've not used your Twitch Prime subscription this month, and remember, you get a free one if you have an Amazon Prime account. I would love for you to use it here on the David Pakman Show Twitch stream. Also want to say thanks to David Wilson for signing up on my website with the coupon code Felony21, and Alan Posnick, new members number 145 and 146. If you're watching, if you appreciate what we're doing, the extra streams, sign up at joinpakman.com. Why not? Let's speak to a few other people here. I'm going to go back to, was it pronounced Elijah from Virginia?
Yeah, so it's actually Elysian, but
Elysian.
or it is Elijah. You had it right. But
Oh,
my friends
okay.
call me
Wow.
Ellie is
I
what was,
actually
trying to
correctly
say.
pronounced your name and you mispronounced it. That's rare.
Yeah, I said it right the first time, and then you
Yep.
saying it back correctly to me.
It confused
made me
you.
mess it up.
It confused
Actually,
you.
yeah.
What's the
But
origin
my
of
friends,
that name?
my friends just call me Ellie. It's actually it's like an ancient word. It used to mean like the blessed spirit fields, but they pronounced it Elysian. I actually just picked the name. My legal name is Ryan, but I wanted something that was like masc and femme, so it's Elijah for long and it's Ellie for short.
Wow. And you legally changed your name to that?
I haven't committed that hard, but I've been going by it for a couple of years.
Okay. Fair. All right. So tell me, what's happening there in Virginia other than the obvious?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we have an 8-point victory for Youngkin here if that holds, and that's just like an absolute smashing, way more than anyone expected.
It is already
And-
down to 6, just so you know.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
mean, even if it was, like, we know it was bad for Democrats if Youngkin slid by him. Even if it was
Yeah.
close, it was bad for Democrats. And we're
Absolutely.
talking about more than 5 points, so that's tremendous.
No doubt.
I did vote for Princess here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's like the third party candidate. And I just think they walked into it. They really did. Like, they ran this entire, I don't know how much you've been following it. I haven't been tuning in too much the last couple of months, but they ran this entire election here on Donald Trump, and it was all about Trump, and he's not even on the ballot anymore. He's not even in office anymore. And needless to say, that's not a good strategy. When you don't offer anything to people, they're not going to vote for you. And I think that's
So
what
this
happened.
is important. So you were in Virginia and you were the target of advertising. You did feel that it was a referendum on Trump.
Yes, I mean, that was every single advertisement they sent out. My friend just sent me, my old roommate, Dan, from last year.
Yep.
He sent me a mailer that he thought was from Youngkin, and maybe you've seen these, but it says endorsement announcement from Donald Trump, and it's got Glenn Youngkin on the front, and it looks like it's a Youngkin ad, but if you look in the small script in the bottom, it's paid for by the Democrats. That was their all-in strategy from the get-go.
Oh, wow.
Was this guy likes Donald Trump, this guy supports Trump, and Youngkin kind of distanced himself, and like I said, he's not on the ballot anymore.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much of it is a turnout issue, how much of it is a independents are pissed off. I mean, I think it's a combination of the two.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate your insights.
Of course. Thanks so much, David. Keep up the good work.
All right, you too. Take care. Let's check in with Jimmy from Philly. Jimmy from Philly, James, you're on the air. What's going on?
Well, a little tidbit about Governor Murphy of New Jersey. Okay?
Yeah.
The mainstream media told everybody that there was all these curfews for months. People were all upset. And then a couple months later, good old Governor Murphy with a wry smile said, there was no curfew. I never ordered any curfew. You're going to vote for a guy like that deceives you by omission? And that guy that said the suburbs of Philly? Yeah, that's all my friends that move over to Washington Township because they hate Philadelphia. They ain't voting for that clown.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, they all move over to Washington Township because they can't stand Philadelphia. They did better for themselves.
Did they?
Yeah.
In what way?
They made more money. They did well in life, and they can't stand Philadelphia.
So they moved. They
Riots,
moved to a suburb and they
riots.
made more money than in the city.
No, they did better in life.
Better in life, but they made more money. You said, right?
David, they don't like Democratic politicians.
No, that. But hold on,
Look
I'm
at
actually
Philly.
interested in that.
It's ridiculous.
What would be an example job where one of your friends made more money in the suburbs of Philadelphia in Jersey than in Philly? What job pays more?
Well, first of all, the suburbs of Philadelphia is not New Jersey.
I
live
thought
in
you
the
were saying
suburbs.
the Philly suburbs in Jersey that the caller
No,
mentioned.
one of your callers said that, and
Yeah.
you said that it sounds illegal.
Yeah, that was a joke. You know that was a joke, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I know it was a joke.
Okay.
I understand that.
Good.
I'm a reasonable person.
Good.
But he's being truthful because a lot of people moved out of Philadelphia to just across the bridge.
Got it. But so to go back, I'm really interested in job markets. What is the job your friends had who they left Philly to the suburbs and made more money?
My one friend's a trucker. My one friend's a trucker, and his wife works for, what does his wife do? His wife makes more money than him, actually. She works for the government somewhere. I'm unsure.
Okay.
But they got like 5 kids, so, to live in Washington Township with 5 kids, you gotta have money. You gotta have money to live anywhere. David, I lived in Jersey 20 years ago. I used to listen to this talk show.
Yeah.
And they deduced that a single person 20 years ago to live in an apartment, maintain a car, had to make $44,000 a year in New Jersey. I can only imagine what it is now.
Jimmy, is it okay if we try to just stick to one topic and then we'll go to the next one?
Sure.
Okay. So my question is, let's say you were in landscaping. I would guess as a landscaper, you make more working in Philly than in suburbs because usually landscaping work is more expensive in cities. So what I want to know, hold on, just let me finish the question, Jimmy. Jimmy, please, I'm begging you, let me finish the question.
I'm sorry.
What is the type of job where your friends made more by quitting the Philly job and getting the same job in a suburb? What is the job?
The truth is, David, they couldn't stand living in Philly. And
so it wasn't
believe
true
they
when
make
you
more-
said they made more money when they left. They just didn't like Philly.
Well, yes, that's part of it.
You lied. You told me something that
Absolutely.
wasn't true.
Okay, David. Next question.
I don't know, Jimmy. You called me, but so you're saying it's not truthful. You don't really have an example of that.
Listen, David, I'm on my third 12% beer, so I don't know what the hell I said to you, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How's that for
Anything else,
honesty?
Jimmy? Anything else I can do for you?
Anything? Well, Governor Murphy is a scumbag. He allowed the mainstream media to tell everybody in New Jersey that there were curfews. He never refuted it. Then a couple months later, with a wry smile, he said, "What curfews? I never ordered a curfew."
Yeah, I just don't
that's
know
what he
anything
did.
about that. I don't know a thing about that.
That's
Jimmy.
exactly what he did, David. I'm telling you the truth.
Is
He
this
did.
more
He
true
did.
than your friend who left Philly and made more in the suburbs?
David,
Yeah.
David, you got to be kidding me. You're talking about the truth. I mean, I'm talking to you. David, what was that stream that you said that you're an admitted liar? And I have it as a playlist on my channel. You know that. Anybody can access it.
I don't know what you're talking
I think
about,
maybe
Jimmy.
you were joking, but you said it.
Jimmy, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
What did I have?
Yeah.
I had a bag of gourmet microwave stuff at P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's. I've never been there.
It's a restaurant, but they put out gourmet.
No, I know what it is. I've just never been there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gourmet.
Why are you asking me what I had for dinner? What'd you have for dinner?
What did I have for dinner? I had pho. Are you familiar with pho? It's a Vietnamese soup. Or is it Cambodian? It's Cambodian, right?
Sounds gay.
All right, Jimmy, we're going to let you go, okay? Thank you. There's Jimmy from Philly. When it goes overtly homophobic, we just kill it. Let's see. I do want to say thank you to a bunch of people who just signed up via Twitch Prime. Jose Damadi, Greater Candle, Carrickman, Evan Lutz Music, Rogue Master, TM Feldman, Common Cider, and R. Giroux, putting us at 154 for the day. Also, over on the website, an American hero, Anthony Spolar, just got a new website membership with the coupon code Felony21 and is new member number 155. Folks, today is the day to sign up on my website. It is imperative that we do that. We are watching results from Jersey, where for now, the Republican challenger is winning by, oh, wait a second. Hold on. Where'd that go? Winning by 0.82. 0.82. Let's speak to a few other people like, oh, I don't know. Let's go to Miles from Arizona. Miles, you're on the air.
Hey, David?
Yes.
Hey, no, I was just watching the election. Honestly, there really wasn't much I had to say, because I'm not in one of the states that's voting. I guess, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't really have a question. I was just listening.
But you were waiting to talk to me, right? You were in the waiting lobby?
Oh. Yeah, I had a question and then I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, listen, Miles, I'm soon going to be down in your neck of the woods in Arizona. I look forward to the weather. I look forward to getting some great Mexican food at some particular restaurants I have earmarked for a visit. So I look forward to being in Arizona.
Oh, nice. What part of the state, if you don't mind me asking?
It's going to be the Tucson area.
Oh my God, I am in Tucson now. I
Wow.
am attending university in Tucson.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even though I live in Phoenix, but yeah, I'm currently in Tucson. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it's a beautiful place. You hope you enjoy it here.
Thank you. I've been many times, Miles. Pleasure. Great to hear from you. There's Miles from Arizona. People are just calling in from everywhere. Let's go to Kevin from Arlington, Virginia. Arlington, a key state in tonight's election. Kevin, what's going on?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what it's going to be like with a Republican governor. I've lived here for almost 7 years. I've never actually lived under a Republican governor here.
Yeah. What are you expecting?
I don't really know. I mean, it's also going to depend on what happens in the State House. And, I'm in Arlington, very, very blue area. What we can do locally will maybe kind of stem some of the blow. But, yeah.
Excellent. Well, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I was wondering if you followed this pretty strange story that broke here on Friday about a terror threat to shopping malls here in Northern Virginia.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so on Friday, the way I found out about it, I got a text message from my apartment company, and then I saw this in the news that it's kind of started with Fairfax County Police reporting that there is a public security risk on shopping malls in the area, and we're going to increase presence. Very strange. And then some reporting came out that said it was tied to ISIS.
I did not hear that. I'm going to have to research that. It sounds wild.
Yeah, and of course, nothing happened. And there is some speculation out there that this was potentially some sort of plot to sway against early voting. People on both sides were kind of taking this up as, oh, this is clearly meant to dissuade early voting Democrats, or it's clearly meant to scare off Republicans who vote in person.
Yeah.
It just disappeared.
Quite a strange story. Quite a strange story. I'll look into it.
Great. And I got the same mailer that Elysian talked about. I'm going to email it to you just so you can see. But
Please do. Yeah, please do. I want to check that out. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Very good. There is Kevin. Just so you guys know, trying to get on, putting parentheses in front of your name so that the name shows up at the top of the list means you will absolutely not be called on. it's a very obvious thing, and like 7 people are doing it, there is no chance I will speak to you if you're doing that. It's just annoying. It's just a trick to get at the top. Okay. So that's a guarantee that we will not speak, just for people to know. It's like, follow that to its logical conclusion. Everyone just puts parentheses in front of their name, and then now the order ends up being the same, right? So let's be sensible, guys, please. Let's talk to some New Jersey people. These are going to be quick New Jersey check-ins. Get right to your point. Let's go to Connor from New Jersey. You're on the air. What is happening in New Jersey? I'm scared.
Oh, wow. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So, I mean, just an observation for myself. I'm in Camden County.
Okay.
I've seen billboards of Jack and lawn side signs, so there's a lot of popularity with him. But just a reassuring thing I'm telling myself is New Jersey had record turnout of mail-in voting. Upwards of like a third of the entire state had mail-in voting, and I doubt that's being counted yet. So part of me is thinking that we might be okay, but as it stands, it's not looking pretty. So
it's looking scary. I think you would agree.
Yeah.
All right, Connor from Jersey, thank you so much for the call. Let's go next to Andrew from Jersey. You're on the air. What's going on? Andrew from Jersey, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I actually live in Mercer, which is like a pretty blue county. It has Trenton in it. I think they're only reporting 30% of votes right now.
Right.
Which is good. What I can say is I think just being in like my local Facebook group, a big reason that people are voting for Citarelli is because of like school board policies and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
People they just get, galvanized by garbage that they're hearing from, like Trump Republicans and stuff like that.
So in a sense, similar to what some of the people are saying in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. And I see it like I'm in the Lawrence Facebook group, which is part of Mercer. And that's just like, it's just mostly old people or people who have kids, wondering about the community. And they're the ones who are just, you see ludicrous opinions just about different things that aren't real in regards to education.
Right.
And they're definitely.
Yeah, well, it's weaponized. It's weaponized disinformation is what I would call it.
Yeah, no, very accurate, and really see some like horrible things coming out of these people's mouths and right in the face of everyone in the community.
Well, we'll certainly have time to post game it. That's for sure.
Yeah. No,
all right, Andrew from Jersey, thank you. Reviews are in for Jimmy from Philly's phone call. Just got a message from a friend who says Jimmy from Philly is a comedic genius. I unintentionally so. I do agree with that. Let's keep going through our tour of Jersey just a little bit more. Then we're going to go elsewhere in the country. Let's go to Ben from Jersey. Ben, you're on the air. What do you think is going to happen in Jersey here?
I don't know, but I'm getting a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, we're now at 55% reporting, and Chattarelli's lead is just a hair under 2 points.
Yeah, I'm in South Jersey. I'm in Gloucester County because my college.
So far, that's +9 Chattarelli, and that's basically it. It's almost 100% in, so that's a red county.
Yeah, it is. South Jersey is very rural, and on my college campus, they put up like a thing that said like, "Why do you vote?" And you could put like Post-it notes on it.
Yep.
And a majority of them were like, "Let's go, Brandon," and like, "Our gas taxes are too high," and Phil Murphy is a liberal, and it's just like, I thought college campuses were supposed to be progressive.
I'm looking now on Google Maps at Gloucester County, Jersey. So it looks like it's just mostly farms, but you've got some towns like, is Glassboro the big town there?
Yeah, Glassboro is where I am. It's where Rowan University is.
Oh, I see. Let's see what is the area by the courtyard by Marriott? Is that downtown or is that just kind of like
Yeah, that's on Rowan Boulevard, because it's a college town. So like the town is kind of built around the school. I'm literally right across the street from the Courtyard Marriott right now.
It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great. Have you ever been to Oishi Ramen?
Yes, I live above it.
It seems well. Okay, dude, so please don't. I don't want you putting yourself in any kind of danger. But
True.
do they have
Whatever.
any miso broth that is you think appropriate?
Yes, but at the same time, it's I always get the impression when I'm there that it's like a Chinese restaurant masquerading as a Japanese place. Like it doesn't feel super authentic.
Oh boy, we don't like that.
Yeah, there are better Japanese places in Glassboro that you can go.
Okay. If I ever am there, I'll let you know. By the way, is it weird that of the entire country, I somehow zoomed in on the building in which you live randomly, just looking at restaurants?
Probably not, because if you're looking on Google Maps, I mean, they like highlight like restaurants or things to do in the town, so it's not surprising.
Okay,
and
right,
also like the town is just Rowan, so there isn't much else to see.
Got it. Okay, all right. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, there it is. Wow, what a day, guys. What a day. I want to say thanks to Camera Tagus and You Taught Me 8 for signing up via Twitch Prime, members 156 and 157 today. Really appreciate that. Let's speak to a few other people because this is quite a wild night. It's really a wild night. What else looks interesting here? A lot of people from Virginia and Jersey are calling in, but we've spoken to many of them already. Let's see if we can just find something a little different. Just a little different. Oh, let's go to Leanne from, what is RVA? Is that Richmond, Virginia? Is that code for Richmond, Virginia?
Yes, it is.
Wow. All right. Is that, I didn't know that's the hip way. You call it RVA.
Exactly.
Okay. What's going on there?
Well, it's a devastating night. I worked on McAuliffe's campaign in 2013.
Yep.
And I felt like the energy just wasn't there for this campaign.
Okay.
And I got door knocks from Youngkin's campaign multiple times, even though I told him to stop. So Youngkin's signs were really big all over the place. So and I think Terry McAuliffe made a couple of pretty big gaffes.
Oh,
in
really?
Some of the debates.
What were they?
Well, he made, he said in one of the debates that parents should not tell kids what, how to, parents shouldn't tell kids how to, parents couldn't tell schools.
Oh, tell schools, right.
Yep, couldn't tell schools what to do. And so within minutes of saying that, Youngkin capitalized on it and made it a real big talking point.
Right.
And then Terry tried to come back with, saying that he was taking his words out of context. And then, they used some talking points about what Terry had done with schools. But, he was really good with schools. And, they're using the charter schools as a talking point for the Republicans. So that's what Youngkin's going to do.
And it seemed to work because a ton of the people being interviewed who said they voted Youngkin said their big issue was education and CRT.
Exactly. And there is no CRT taught in Virginia schools.
That's the crazy thing. It's wild that it just doesn't make any sense. So basically you're saying the propaganda worked really well.
Propaganda worked really well.
Yeah.
And Youngkin had a bunch of really young, energized kids working on kids, maybe late teens, early 20s, just very energetic.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry just didn't seem to have the energy.
Do you like living in Richmond?
I love living in Richmond.
You do?
I don't know. And I work, so the other thing is about Virginia being an absolute bellwether for 2022. I'm not so sure about that because every year that, this will be when the Republicans win, presidential elections, the opposite party always wins, with the exception of 2013, which is when Terry did win governor.
Right.
So it's not always, usually it is the opposite party that wins. So.
Right. All right. Very good, Leanne. Let's hope for the best next year, I guess we would say.
Yep. Get more people out there volunteering.
Yep.
So,
All
okay.
right.
Thanks, David.
Thanks,
Take care.
Leanne. Yep.
Thanks for your
Pleasure. There's Leanne from Richmond, Virginia. We have a lot going on, folks. We just have a hype train that started on Twitch, and we should really try to win it. We haven't won one for a while. I want to say thanks to Rhinodactyl, Eternal TNS, and Dragonfly Back Home for the Twitch subs, putting us at 160. We've lost, I think, about 50 of these hype trains in a row. Let's try to win one. I also want to say thanks to Anthony Spolar, who sent a very generous $50 super chat and says, I just became a member. I enjoy listening to you. What do you think of Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower design of generating electricity by use of the ionosphere? Could be a great alternative to fossil fuel energy. I have to admit, I'm not familiar with that. And one of my principles that I abide by on this program is if I don't know about something, I don't want to comment on it. The comment below says it's pseudoscience. Now, I don't know if that's a reference to the Wardenclyffe Tower design. I genuinely don't know, but that's a very aggressive statement to make, that's for sure. Welcome to everybody coming in from Trihex. Trihex. We will one of these days get dinner. Uh-oh, Terry McAuliffe speaking. Let's listen.
Continue to count the votes because every single Virginian deserves to have their vote counted.
Trihex viewers, we're doing election results.
Let me first of all, I want to thank everybody here with us tonight. It has been a great campaign.
Is he conceding?
328 days ago. I have done an average of 7 to 10 events a day for the last 328 days.
Are Terry's lips purple? Anybody seeing that?
And we opened up this campaign. When I kicked off this campaign down in Richmond with my great co-chairs, LeVar Stoney and Louise Lucas and Charnel Herring, to talk about how we needed to rebuild all of our schools here in the Commonwealth of Virginia and raise teacher pay and get every child access to a pre-K education and to get everybody access to broadband here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we have continued to take that fight throughout this Commonwealth. But first of all, I want to thank my family. I want to start by thanking... I want to thank my wife, Dorothy.
Wow.
As you know, she has been a champion, a true policy expert. And through her efforts, as you know, 13 million more meals served to needy children here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I want to thank my family. You know, you don't get to pick your parents, as you know. You're born into family. And they have survived campaign after campaign. And I want to thank Dory, who is here with me tonight, with her fiancé, Nick, who's here with us tonight.
Wow.
Jack McAuliffe, who is here with his fiancée, Shannon, tonight. Sally McAuliffe. And Peter McAuliffe. So let's count all these votes, but let me thank each and every one of you over the course of the last 11 months for the doors that you've knocked on, the phone calls that you made. Just last weekend, 450,000 doors knocked on.
Wow.
2 million during the course of this campaign. I want to thank you. The McAuliffe family loves each and every one of you. Thank you for what you've done in this campaign. And I want to thank my campaign staff. It was the greatest campaign.
Has he said I concede? I don't know that he did.
Great round of applause for all the great work they have done. But folks, as I said long ago, this is a different state. When Ralph and I were elected 8 years ago, we have made our state open and welcoming, but the fight continues. We got to make sure we protect women's right to choose here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We got to make sure everybody gets quality, affordable health care here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Everybody's entitled to a world-class education here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we are going to continue that fight tonight and every day going forward. So I just want to thank all of you for what you have meant to us I look around this room and I see so many friends we've worked with for many years. This is a different state. We are the greatest state in the United States of America, and it's because of you. Thank you. God bless you, and let's go on and forward. Thank you.
Well, that is the type of, it's very interesting decision. He went out early, went out before Glenn Youngkin went out there to potentially.
Oh no, he's dancing.
Probably try to declare some form of victory.
They're still counting the votes.
He wants to still counting the votes, but that's also a signal to the supporters you can go home now.
That's right. He talked about his campaign, and we.
Okay, so that's happening. That's happening, and we are going to be standing by for the eventual results from New Jersey. All right, folks, this is going to conclude my coverage for tonight. We are, Virginia's lost. We're watching Jersey, and we may not know until tomorrow. We are also standing by for news from Boston, where Michelle Wu continues to lead, and it's looking increasingly good for her as well. So we're going to have wall-to-wall coverage on the podcast tomorrow. That's going to do it for my coverage tonight. We'll be back with a new podcast tomorrow, YouTube clips, TV show, radio show, and live Kyle Rittenhouse trial. All of those things happening tomorrow. I appreciate everybody who tried to call in, and we spoke to many, many people. And we're going to be back real soon. Thanks for joining me. I guess that's it. I don't know. Yes, I'm keeping them. I have a mustache. That is my sign off. I have a mustache. Thank you.
Oh, let me check. All right.